skies and neon nights. Controllers lit like fireflies. Old freaky gamer in the zone. Level up the unknown. Game talk news, it's all a thrill. Conquering worlds with skill on skill. Game on, game hard. Streaming stars were never far. Game on, game hard. In this conquest we're avatars.
Welcome everybody to the GamezAttack High Test, episode 83. I am Mr. Mike, and this is the Xbox 360 turns 20. Woo. Yeah, Xbox 360 turns 20. Oh, yeah. And as we get out of that, welcome everybody. It's your favorite narrator again, Mr. Michael Morgan Freeman, or Mr. Mike, or Mr. Freeman. There we go. We can call myself Mr. Freeman. Just messing around with my soundboard again, trying to get things in. So then, because why not? It's fun to do. And I think Morgan sounds very good. So everybody, Xbox 360 has turned 20 years old. Shit, it's been a time. So I'm going to turn it back on over to myself here, so give me 1 second, folks.
Okay, and now I am back on to, hopefully, myself here. I think I am. Oh, you know what I'm not able to do because I'm going to be in tunnel sound vision. I got to turn this off in order to do this correctly. So, did that work? Why am I still getting... hold on, folks. Like I said, it's always a work in progress. Let's see here. I got to exit out voice mod. There we go. That's what drops it. Unfortunately, I have to do that. That's a sad way to do things, but hey, sometimes you got to do weird things to get things to work correctly, and I had to turn off voice mod completely, or else it still records, even though I have it off, via the desktop and the microphone. Hence why I get a double audio vision. It's not audio vision, but it's double audio of my same audio, and it sounds like I'm in a tunnel. So that's something that's weird like that. I could put it back on my mic and auxiliary part of the thing, but it still does some crazy things. And like I said, it's still going to go into the desktop audio. It's a wonky program, but it works when I need it to. I'm not going to be talking as anybody or Morgan Freeman, so I just turned it off. So everybody, welcome to the podcast that is about video games and not AI overlapping narrators / former actors and stuff. Oh, I don't know. Does Morgan Freeman do any acting, or does he still do any TV commercials or anything? I don't know. I think they tried to cancel him at one time or another for some stupid reason. I don't know. Gave somebody a hug or patted him on the butt or something. I don't know what it was. Something stupid. And just never heard from him much later after that. And then I think I heard him or seen him in one commercial, and that was it. Otherwise, I don't know. Because usually we'd always be hearing Morgan Freeman on everything. He was like James Earl Jones. They would always do voiceovers for everything or narration for everything because they got those cool voices going on. So I don't know what happened to him. He's still around. He's old as shit, but he's still around. I don't know. But I do like Morgan Freeman. He's always been a good actor, and of course, gotta like that man's voice. So yeah, Xbox 360 turns 20, or turned 20 already, and still can't believe it. I really, really can't believe it. And talking about it, or I am going to be talking about it, where was I back 20 years ago? I'm 39 now, so you take 20 years off of 39, I was 19. So basically, I was out of high school at that time, pretty much. And when I got my 360 at that time, 20 years ago, well, actually, it was 21 years ago, because even though this is 20 years, I only had the Xbox 360 for 19 of those 20 years. I still have an Xbox 360. I got the whatever the latest one was, and has the HDMI and all that. Doesn't do the red ring and supposedly and all that stuff. That's still sitting in a box in my upstairs closet. So that I was playing that a lot, but now it just sits in the box because I don't know. I always thought I'd use it for backwards compatibility and stuff like that, but there's so many other ways to do backwards compatibility and stuff like that. And a lot of those games have always got updated and stuff like that. So I don't know if I'll ever use it. I got a ton of 360 games still, but yeah, I still have it, but I only had it for the 19 of the 20 years because the first year the Xbox 360 came out. Before that, before the Xbox 360, it was the original Xbox, of course, and I was all big into PlayStation at that time. I was a PlayStation nut. You know, I loved my PS2, loved my PS1 as well. I still got a PS1 sitting in a case, in a curio case out in my dining room. Actually, I got a little curio case, and it has video game memorabilia and collectibles and stuff in it. And on the very bottom shelf, I have a PlayStation 1 console. I think it's the PlayStation 1 console in there. I know I got a Nintendo console in there as well, but I think I have the PlayStation console as well in there. And that was my first, the first PlayStation was a hand-me-down. I bought a hand-me-down PlayStation from somebody. My late uncle took me, and we bought a PlayStation 1. I had a ton of games for that. That was when the PS2 was actually out, though. And I really did want the PS2, but my mom and I grew up in a very poor family, so my family didn't really have that much money. My mom was always working. It was just me and my mom, even though I had my rest of my family, like my grandmother and uncles and stuff. But mainly it was just me and my mom, and she was just working all the time. We were poor, and the rest of my family was semi-poor as well. So it wasn't like, oh, we can buy you a brand new PlayStation 2 at the time. So originally it was like the PlayStation 1 I bought as a hand-me-down, and then later on, way later in the PlayStation 2 ecosystem, which it didn't matter because there was tons, you know, when I got my PS2, there were still tons of PlayStation 2 games coming out way after that. So it wasn't like that PS2 was ever going to be none and done. You know, I got that before Vice City came out and stuff, and San Andreas. So it was in that time frame when I got the PS2. So I got it at a sweet spot, but I really wanted a PS2 because of Grand Theft Auto 3. And then when I finally got GTA 3 for the PS2, because originally I got GTA 3 for the PC, but of course I didn't have a PC powerful enough or good enough to play GTA 3 back on the PS3. I had an E-Machines computer, and that fucking thing did not play Grand Theft Auto 3 at all. And even when I put a graphics card in there, I didn't know much about computers at the time. I was still an early person in learning computers and how they worked and RAM and all that stuff. And back at that time, I tried to put in a new graphics card, which I saved up some money for at the time. At the time, getting a graphics card, like a basic graphics card for the computer, was like, I don't know, $100, $200 at the time, $150, $200. It was a Radeon. I put that sucker in the E-Machines, and shit still did not play Grand Theft Auto 3 very well. And then come to find out later on, because this was back when Circuit City was still around and stuff, but come to find out later on that E-Machines would never be able to handle Grand Theft Auto 3 because it was running a Celeron chip in there, and the RAM was very low in that thing. I think it only had like, what was it? Did it even have, I think it had 4 or or 8 gigs of RAM at the time. This was, like I said, early days. This is Windows XP, all that stuff. And come to find out after all that, and me doing some research on my own, because my mom didn't obviously know anything about video games or PCs or anything like that. Come to find out, I found out that, that E-machines with Celeron and 8 gigs of RAM, even with a graphics card, would not run GTA 3. And I was so bummed. I had the game, spent all that money on a graphics card, and I found out even if I put more RAM in there and stuff, it would not run that fucking game. And I'm like, fuck that. So the only things that I could play on the E-machines were probably The Sims and stuff. But like I said, later on, I got a PS2 finally. My mom bought it for me. It was still like, what, $399.99 or $299.99, something around there. It was like $200 to $300. And my mom was like, "What the fuck? This is expensive. This is your Christmas and birthday present, all that stuff." And I'm like, "Yes, I know. I just want to play GTA 3 finally, when everybody else got to play it 20 million times ahead of me." And got to play GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, and a whole lot of great games on that. And like I said, I was a PlayStation fan throughout the PS2 and PS1, and the PS1 era, but through PS2 era and stuff like that. And then the next generation was coming out, and this is when, like I said, I was 19 years old, because 20 years ago, I'm 39 now. That's when I had a job. I started working at a grocery store, my local grocery store, making some, not great money, but, I was kicking back like, what was it, $300 to $500 a week, give or take a little bit. And I saved up, and I'm like, oh, the PS3's coming out. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get this PS3, brother. I was so excited about the PS3. But that was also when Microsoft announced the Xbox 360, and at the time, the original Xbox was out, and I was like, yeah, because when they announced the original Xbox, everybody in my family was like, oh, look, Microsoft's announcing this Xbox console, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, that'll never work. I told everybody in my family, I'm like, that thing looks like a big piece of shit. No way. It's PlayStation, people. It's PlayStation. No fucking way. And I never bought the original Xbox because it was a giant hunk of nothing, and I never believed in Microsoft believed that they would be coming into the gaming world. I'm like, they're a software company. They make Windows. They make Office software and stuff. Why? How would they be in making a video game console? And I didn't believe in that. And then they announced the 360. And at that time, I was still all PlayStation. I was like, nah, I'm getting the PS3, the 360. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't really like wanting to get a PS or a Xbox 360 at the time. So I was waiting for the PS3, and then the next SmackDown vs. Raw game was announced, and that was going to come on both PlayStation, of course, and Xbox 360. So PS3, Xbox 360. And then I found out what the price was going to be for the PS3. And it was a high price tag. It was like, $500? The premium one was going to be $600, I think, give or take. Am I right on that numbering? It was close to that. It was all in those higher numbers. And I was like, whoa. But, Sony at the time was offering a whole bunch of stuff. You remember you had all those memory card slots. You had all of the micro SD card slots. They packed it full of everything. You were able to connect anything and everything to that system. Plus, it was fully backwards compatible, the original PS3s, which I did own original PS3 back in the day. I should have never gave that up. But I did. I sold it because I wanted the later. Then this was later on when I got a PS3. I got the original PS3, but I wanted the slimmer PS3, which I do own still upstairs in a box in my closet. But at the time, I was still all PS3 for the price and all that. And then I found out two big things. First, Sony had delayed the PS3 by, I forget if it was a few months or a year or something because of I think it was because of their cell chip that was causing it, that whole cell chip pandemic or whatever it was, epidemic, something where they were like, oh, this is the most powerful chip. People got to be careful because this could be used in munitions and stuff. It's our cell chip. Oh, Sony's cell chip is causing havoc and stuff. It's hard to make and all that stuff. And people were having a hard time also programming for the PS3 because of that cell chip and its architecture and stuff. So Sony delayed the PS3 for some amount of time. And stuff like that. And it was also announced that WWE, at the time, I think it was still WWF. No, I think it went to WWE. I don't know. I'll have to check my games if it was still WWF or WWE. It was around the time before WWF became WWE because of the World Wildlife Federation Foundation, whatever bullshit was suing WWF at the time, which I'm like, first off, WWF has been around for ages, so why would they be suing them now? I don't know. Trademark disputes and stupid panda bullshit, stuff like that. The Wildlife Federation Foundation, I call them Federation now, but the foundation was all pissed off at the WWF with even though they had that branding for a while, it's like, really? Now you're getting up in arms about it? But anyway, WW whatever, I'm going to call it WWF back in the day, SmackDown versus Raw was supposed to come out on both consoles, and then they announced that they were no longer coming out for the PS3, and it was only going to be on the Xbox 360, and I don't know if was it the GameCube around at that time or something like that? And I don't think it was even on that. I think it was just on that. Maybe PC, but maybe not. Because at the time, I think it was still THQ and stuff. I know this is a long time ago, and I don't remember all of my history because that's a long time ago. I remember most of it, but the details are fuzzy right now for that stuff. But anyway, I wasn't going to be able to play when I was still a super big wrestling fan at the time, I wasn't able to be playing one of my SmackDown versus Raw games, and I'm like, the PlayStation 3 is going to be delayed. It is super expensive. And of course, the 360 was out already and it was cheaper, or it was coming out, but it was still going to come out and it was still going to be out and it was cheaper. And I wasn't going to be able to play my wrestling game on the PS3. So I'm like thinking, oh, Sony, why'd you do this to me? And then I went over to the dark side and I said, you know what? I'm going to pick up one of these Xbox 360s because you know what? They got my wrestling game. And whoever has my wrestling game at the time, that was my Grand Theft Auto at the time. That's what changed me. That's what brought me into the Xbox ecosystem. That was the first time I had an online console. I got Xbox Live, all that stuff. And my very first game that I can only afford for the 360 at the time, because, WWE, Gears of War, and all that stuff wasn't even out yet. They were all being promoted and shown at E3 back when there was an E3, and they actually did on-stage demos, and they did presentations, and all that stuff was cool and awesome, and the whole industry was really fresh and bright and amazing at the time, Booth babes were still around. And I said, shit, I got to go to the dark side. And I'm like, okay, this 360 looks okay. It looks like a decent system. It's Microsoft, but the controller looks cool and stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll bite. I'll take it. I'll see if this works out. And I bought my first Xbox console. I bought the Xbox 360 at the time, and the only game I could afford at the time, because like I said, I'm only working at a grocery store. I bought the cheapest game, which was Halo, because Halo came out on Xbox, but it was backwards compatible with the 360, so I bought a copy of Halo, which I still own the physical copies of today, and I said, I'm just going to buy this used copy of Halo at GameStop. I think it was EB Games still back at that time as well, so EB Games was still around before GameStop took them over and changed EB Games to GameStop, and I said, okay, I'll play this Halo game on the 360 and I'll wait for my WWE game. And I'm thinking maybe I'll get this Gears of War game because I think Gears of War was coming out soon as well. And I was like, this looks pretty good with these guys with chainsaw guns and stuff. I'm like, well, that's going to be on this console. And there was a few other games I think that I was interested in at the time on the 360. So I decided to bite the bullet, and I bought myself an Xbox 360. I bought myself my first copy of a game, which was an Xbox original game, was Halo. And I played Halo on it, and I'm like, this Halo game is pretty damn fun. And I played it, I beat it, and I'm like, damn, I'm into Halo. I'm into Master Chief. I like this Cortana bitch. She's pretty hot as a AI AI woman, whatever. And I'm like, okay. I'm not playing anything fresh and new, but hey, this game is pretty cool. And then, I got online. I think you could buy some games online, or I don't know if they had games for sale on the 360 yet. If they did, they were like, 100 and something megabyte games. They were little games. Like Plants vs. Zombies, stuff like that. I don't know when those came out. Those might have came out a little later, but there was little games, and I think I bought some of those, and I bought some media on there. This is before Netflix and all that stuff came around. We still had the Blades, which everybody still talks about today, that everybody still wants the Blades to come back. And I'm like, if Microsoft wanted to, among a million things that Microsoft could do and Xbox could do, if they wanted to get their people back, not just lower some prices and stuff or make things more, much more accessible and favorable to people to purchase, because everything's more expensive nowadays going forward. If they brought the Blades back and they made the new Xbox console, and they had not only the Xbox Series interface now, but if they had where you can choose to have the blades again and do a cool blade thing and all that stuff again, I think people would be really cool about that. I think people would be like, oh yeah, the blades are back, brother. Which they could do. There's no reason, if they're going to go more PC centric, why not bring back the blade system for people to go, oh shit, the blades are back, and they could even promote that. If they wanted to bring back faceplates. Remember faceplates, people? That's what also made the Xbox 360 great to me. I bought a few faceplates, or I got a few Xbox 360 faceplates with promotions of games and stuff that I got as collector's things. I got a bunch of those faceplates hanging up, I think, in my upstairs. Oh man, changing out faceplates, that was a thing. They kind of fucked it all up with the Xbox One and going on when they got rid of faceplates, because I think they kind of probably made some money on putting on faceplates, because come on, that was the shit. That was customizing your console. That was like putting on decals on your console, but with official, faceplates and stuff. And oh man, the things that they did around that console was just pretty amazing. But all in all, I bought a 360 at that time. It was a year after it was out, so it was after all the shortages and anything that was happening at the time. I got it after, and it was easy for me to get. I just went in the store, dropped my big little fortune of cash that it was to me at the time, and I bought, like I said, a copy of Halo, and I left the store, and I was happy. I think it had a 20 gigabyte hard drive on it, because you see on the top of it has those attached hard drives. I think it had a 20 gigabyte hard drive at the time, and that you could also swap out. And eventually I got like a 120 gig hard drive for it and stuff down the road, and that was pretty cool too. Even though it was all proprietary, it was a cool thing, because it's like, oh, hard drives on a console, and this is a thing you can make bigger. And at the time, 20 gigabytes was 20 gigabytes. That's a lot of room. Now it's terabytes, and now I got like a bunch. What I got in here, I got in my computer now, I got like 4 20 terabyte drives in there, 22 terabyte drives in there, 4 8 terabyte M.2 drives in this PC of mine. And then I got my NAS computer, which has like, what is it? In total, it has like 80 terabytes, but half of it's for just backup for itself, just in case if one of the drives fails in my NAS. But still, terabytes, from gigabytes to terabytes. It was crazy. But at the time, the Xbox 360 was revolutionary. It has that weird shell form to it where it would be out and would go in and out, and they called it the inhale exhale effect for the console. That's why they made it look like that weird shape, because they wanted you to see it inhale and exhale. It was a whole style thing. They made it really stylish. It was really small. Because the power brick was still external at the time, so everybody hated that power brick. Everybody always made fun of the power bricks. And they had it for the Xbox One as well, and people hated that power brick. It was like this big giant brick that would be the power brick, and it would be outside. You plug it into the wall, and you had the power brick, and then it had the cable that goes inside the console. I didn't care about the power brick. It never bothered me. It just said, hey, it made the console smaller and stuff like that. And now they got smaller internal power brick connectors inside the consoles, like the Xbox One in the future and Xbox Series consoles, and going forward, everything was internal. All the PlayStations had internal power bricks, so they weren't external at all. So people made fun of that power brick. I never did. I said, I got a power brick out here. So what? Whoopie-doo fucking doo-dah. But yeah, revolutionary throughout the whole thing. And you hit the little eject button, it would go ding or ding and make little noises and stuff like that. It would still have those memory card slots in the front if you still had memory cards and you wanted to use those as well for game saves or transfer your profiles to one console to another. So if I went to my friend's house, I'd just pop out my memory card because it had all my game saves and my profile on it. I would take it over to my friend's house and I'd pop it in his Xbox 360 or whatever, and we could play games together and bring my controller over and stuff, sync it to there, and we'd be playing Gears of War co-op or something together, and that was amazing. Or Halo co-op. I think they eventually had a Halo co-op, but the 360 had so many games. It was mostly Gears of War, Halo, a lot of Halo. I was a big Halo nut at the time. I was a Halo nut all the way up to Halo Infinite, which Halo Infinite, when I started to play that broke me so bad that I just didn't even play it. And you all know it because I talk about it. It's the only Halo game I never played or beat. Now, I didn't beat those ODST or Halo. What was the other Halo something. I could play them. I should play them again because they were good. I hear a lot of people like them. I just never. I think maybe I beat one of them. I don't know. My friend says that we beat one of them together. I don't remember that, but otherwise, I beat all the major mainstream Halo games, and I did. And I also played those Halo tactical top-down games and the Halo, what do you call them, RTS games as well. But Halo Infinite really broke me. I still say to this day that I should go back and try it out and just play the campaign, grind my teeth and play that campaign. It could be an interesting video for me for future, like a GameOn or something. It could be one of those interesting things for me. But I might make that something like a New Year's thing. Like, hey, I'm going to play this Halo Infinite game or Christmas or something. I don't know. That'd be bad for Christmas for me to play Halo Infinite. I don't know. But otherwise, I was a big Halo fan, Gears of War fan when all the Gears of War games came out on it. Red Dead Redemption, the next Grand Theft Auto 4. And then later, at the end of the 360 life cycle, was Grand Theft Auto 5, which eventually I got for the Xbox One when they had a Xbox One version of that. But basically, right when I got into the 360, it just was like one major banger after another coming out for games and stuff like that. And all the stuff that was going on at the time for the 360 for promotions and this and that, achievements, the introduction to these stupid little points that I love till this day, and I love getting because I'm an achievement whore. Stupid little achievements. So when I'm do a certain thing in a game and it has an achievement attached to it and unlocks, then it's like, boom! Oh, you just made an achievement. You just achieved something. Here's a points to your gamer score, and I'm still earning that gamer score till today, which is at, I don't know, what's my gamer score right now? I got to go into my Xbox app. And this is all before Xbox apps and stuff like that, before you had to look on your console or like XboxAchievements.org and stuff like that. I don't know if they had it on the website officially, but right now I have 172,219 achievements. Now, to me, that seems still kind of low, depending on all the games that I play and stuff. And a lot of people, they got achievement scores into the 400,000s to the millions and stuff like that. You know, the crazy people. Me, I just like playing games on it, and you know, I still get a ton of achievements on stuff, and especially now that I gotta, you can get achievements on PC and stuff like that. It's just mind-blowing on the stuff that you get for it. But at the time, that was all mind-blowing stuff, achievements and stuff. And they would unlock like gamer picks and stuff too at the time, when they also gave you like little gamer picks for stuff in games and stuff, and you can add those to your gamer profile and stuff like that. They did a lot of stuff to just entice you to go, oh shit, I got a Gears of War gamer pick. I got this Doritos gamer pick, man. Oh, now I got this Doritos game that I can play, and I can get all this gamer achievement score and gamer things and stuff like that. Oh, all these little promotional games they had. That was at the time of the era when Burger King was pretty dominant on top of, you know, McDonald's and stuff at the time, where they were selling their own Burger King games when they got a third-party studio or someone to make all these Burger King games, and those games were so horrible. I tried playing a bunch of those games, and they were so horrible, so bad, like Sneak King and stuff like that. I think I have some of those as well, but that was at the time and all that. And then eventually Netflix and stuff came on there. Netflix was the first. It was really big at the time because streaming videos at the time was unheard of. And this is also at the time when I finally got cable internet and stuff, because I needed at least like a 5 megabit up connection and a 20 down megabit connect. Yes, 5 up, 20 down megabit connections, people, for cable internet at the time when I was going nuts. I'm like, oh, cable internet, because originally I was mostly dial-up all the way through the PS2 era. That's when people were starting to use like DSL and stuff up. It was DSL as cable internet, and they were getting, you know, starting to play games online. And me, I was like, ooh, I would love to do that on my PS2, but I can't because I got dial-up internet. But 360, that's when I got online. That's when I got online and started trash talking people, people trash talking me, having fun comments and having fun. It was early days. It was fun. It was great. And there was just tons of games for the 360, a ton of great games, even a ton of bad games came out, but they were still good enough to play on the 360. Games were still only like $40-$50 at the time. A lot of games were mostly like $20-$30. You know, for the more cheapish games and stuff were coming out, they were $20-$30, and it was like $40 and $50 for the higher AAA games at the time. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful time. It was cheap enough for me and all my friends to just buy into so many games and stuff. And Sony, they were doing good as well when the PS3 came out with all their stuff. But, you know, me and a whole bunch of people were just Xbox 360. Microsoft and Xbox were pushing hard on it, pushing hard into gaming. It was a golden era. And then, you know, of course, you had the Red Ring of Death that happened during that era as well. Did not bother me. I never officially, for me at least, I never personally had a console Red Ring of Death on me. And I had, like I said, this is, I think, my third Xbox 360, because I bought those special collector's editions Xboxes when I upgraded to the next Xbox. But my original Xbox 360 I sold to a friend of mine, and it red ringed on him, which is, I'm going to say, maybe a little iffy, because it was at that time I was more into computers and tech and stuff, and I put in a modded fan system into it because I knew the CPU GPU part would overheat. That's when we found out about the whole Red Ring of Death, was because the overheating of the CPU GPU part of it. And even though I kept it airy, I put in an external air thing and an internal fan thing to keep it cool. But after, and I was playing on that system, and I had a clear case too. I also put a clear case on that 360. I should have kept that because he gave it back to me. But at the time, I had a clear case that I put my Xbox 360 hardware in, and it was all clear and you could see in there. So it was cooled. It was a special clear case and all that. It was pretty cool at the time. And like I said, after I sold it to my friend, and I think even a month later. I don't even know if it was even a month later. He says it red ringed, and then later on I found out because he had a lot of little kids at the time running around the house, and he never really put the Xbox 360s on like a nice solid surface. He put it on the carpet, which is a big no-no, and there was shit all over his carpet from kids and stuff, dirt and dust, and I'm thinking maybe that had something to do with it. And then when I borrowed him one of my games one time, it came back all scratched up and stuff, and I'm like, yes, it had to be his kids that fucked up that 360. And I even told him, I'm like, dude, I think this 360 only red ringed on you because of your kids and the way you treat your heart consoles and stuff. And, otherwise, never red ringed on me. It was always perfect. But at the time, I wanted to get the next latest, greatest Xbox 360 because they had the Final Fantasy 13 Xbox 360. And then they had the latest Xbox 360, which had the HDMI port and stuff on there. And I'm like, yeah, I want to use my HDMI TV with a HDMI port because that's when I started buying newer TVs, flat panel TVs, stuff like that. And I wanted the latest, greatest stuff. And yeah. That was a great era. But 360, it had its quirks to it. It had its quirks, and I don't think it had too many setbacks besides the red ring of death and the coffin thing and all that. I don't remember it having too many setbacks to that console. It was a pretty solid console that I just enjoyed probably as much or more so than the PS2 at the time because, like I said, it had the major Grand Theft Autos, it had my SmackDown versus Raw games and stuff, and on top of it, I subscribed to the official Xbox magazine, which was at the time a good publication, and I was all in on that, and then eventually got a PS3 and stuff, but I was more so just playing Xbox because of achievements and stuff, which kept me going. There's articles here that I'm reading about people's, like, what top 20 games were on the 360. A lot of people like to talk about this game, which I never got into because I was never the biggest in multiplayer. The biggest games I was in multiplayer were Halo and Gears of War at the time. Those were the major games, because if it was Call of Duty or something when they had multiplayer, I would get shot right away, and I was like, no. And a lot of those Call of Duties and Ghost Recon games, I like to play single player matches and stuff. So I was never really big online with those games. But for Gears of War, I was really big into Gears of War Online. And I was really big into Halo Online at the time, just bouncing around shooting. I was never good at Halo. Gears of War, I was really good at the time. So, because it was like they were slower, they were bulkier and stuff. But I never really played too many things until like maybe Grand Theft Auto Online. That's another big online game that I actually played online with. And that was pretty fun at the time, even though it was all janky at the start. But otherwise, I never played this game when it came out, when Microsoft did their boldest, what they considered the boldest experiment live game show, 1 versus 100, which a lot of people still to this day want it to come back, and they want to have and play this game. I think it was free. So what it says here, this was released in 2009. One of Microsoft's boldest experiments in the 360 era was 1 versus 100, a live game show where most players would be randomly selected to play along in the crowd. while the lucky 100 would be chosen to be in the mob, and a single person would be chosen as the one. You had to log on to at specific times to play 1 versus 100. It wasn't available to you anytime you wanted to fire it up. Microsoft ran it with a live host from a studio in Seattle, but when you joined in for what was literally an appointment gaming, you were rewarded with, in some cases, real-life prizes such as Microsoft points, which up to 10,000 from the one if they won. So 10,000 Microsoft points you could get, and that's a lot of Microsoft points, especially at the time. And Microsoft points back at the time, it wasn't using dollar amounts for purchases. It was points for everything. The same with like PlayStation and all that. They used the point system. So it's not like Microsoft points like right now. It was points, which games were like 1,200 points for certain games or 2,000, that's how things were purchased back at that time. You use dollar amounts to convert into points, which then you can use to buy games and DLC and microtransactions and stuff. That was a bad thing at that time. That was something that Microsoft and Sony and everybody was doing because they knew they can make people pay more for stuff and thinking they would get more stuff out of it, like out of their points and stuff, even though it cost people more to just get them to buy more and stuff. It was a crazy thing. And then eventually they had to end it. I think they were all pressured to end it by the government or the industry as a whole. But eventually I had to give it up. But at the time, points were points for Xbox points and stuff and all that stuff. But up to 10,000 points if you won as the one in this, which was equivalent at the time of $125 or free Xbox Live arcade games. So at the time, that's what was big at the time. Let's see here. Another game, which I also thought was very fun at the time, released back in 2006. This is a little earlier. Viva Pinata. We all know about Viva Pinata and the whole weird sex dance thing and all of that. And that was a unique game. That was made by, that was created by, what you call it? I can't, Rare Games, the makers of Banjo-Kazooie and stuff like that, and all those great games. And they still make games today, sort of. I think the last one was the Sea of Thieves game. I don't know what they're making now. I heard they're making something or doing something, but Viva Pinata at the time was another great game. And it was like something to combat, something to combat like a Nintendo's Animal Crossing or something like that. You get to do your own little garden, get these Viva Pinata characters to come and join you, and then you'd have them mate, and you'd build this little like farm-like thing with all your Viva Pinatas. I was never good at it, but I always had fun with it. I should try to play that today because it is backwards compatible. You could still play Viva Pinata, all the Viva Pinata games now. I should get back into it and see how well that holds up. But at the time, that was just one of those big games, and they had a whole TV series for Viva Pinata. It was really big. Especially with the kids, and it really blew up in big ways. And then it just like kind of went away. Yeah, it was a thing, a product of its time. People are talking about a game called Lost Odyssey. I don't think I ever played Lost Odyssey, but I guess it was like one of those big games that a Japanese audiences liked and American audiences also liked. It was partnered with legendary Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi. Sakaguchi. There we go. Which I guess he created a new studio called Mistwalker, which two RPGs Mistwalker created for Microsoft live on the Xbox lore, and then Blue Dragon, a cartoony adventure with art by another legend, Akira Toriyama. So I kind of remember their names back in the day, but they're not people that I would know too much. But yeah, Lost Odyssey was a game that everybody liked. Here's another big game that came out back in 2006 that I really liked, and I still like today because you saw me play the remastered version not too long ago, Dead Rising, before Dead Rising Remastered. And this was a game that people were like, oh my god, look at all these zombies and things on the screen. Look at this new thing. This is a game by Capcom that took beyond Resident Evil and stuff, and you would be playing as Frank West, a photojournalist going into this mall, and you'd be fighting these zombies in a mall and stuff. And at the time, this was just like one of those freaking crazy type of games that just blew me away. I was, like I said, again, never really the best at the game at the time, but played it nonstop. You keep replaying it. It was like a time-based game. You keep playing it until you kept dying and stuff. But really at the time, it was really big and really amazing. Then they talk about like Geometry Wars, Retro Evolved, Ninja Gaiden 2 was big, Crackdown. Now, consider what people say about Crackdown. Crackdown was one of those games that blew me away because, let's see here. I forgot what it was. I think they had a beta for Halo or something. Oh, yeah, the game that came with Halo 3 beta. Okay, so this is the reason why me and everybody bought Crackdown, the original Crackdown, when it came out in 2007. Because it came with a copy of the Halo 3 beta, which at the time, super big. People like me wanted to play Halo 3. We couldn't wait, and this had a beta to it. So people like me paid for Crackdown just to get the Halo 3 beta or get into the Halo 3 beta to play it. And the game Crackdown became one of those infamous games that, oh shit, this became a game that blew us all away on how good it was. It was cartoonish, cel-shaded. It was really good. It was something that wasn't Grand Theft Auto, but it was its own style of game. And for somebody like me, a Mr. Mike like me, I fell in love with the Crackdown series. Now, of course, people didn't like Crackdown 2 or Crackdown 3. I liked them. I got to say, I liked them. A lot of people didn't. I think Crackdown 2, I think it was a kind of a lazy made game because it was still in the same city and all that stuff. And they just added some new creatures and monsters and you'd be like new characters and stuff. I understand that one, but Crackdown 3, I thought it was okay. I played it. I beat it. I enjoyed it. Everybody else disliked it and hated it and stuff like that. I don't know. What more do you expect except for getting orbs? That was a whole thing. Level up your agent, get him super powerful, and then you can jump building to building and jump up on top of, climb up buildings, jump to buildings, climb up buildings, get orbs, stuff like that, and you just become the superhuman kind of thing. Nowadays, if they made a new Crackdown nowadays and they made it like with now's technology and everything wasn't as cel shaded and stuff, but it was like using realistic effects and technology and stuff, I think there would be a very big market for a new special Crackdown type of game. Will it ever come back? I don't think so. I don't think Microsoft or anybody over there at Xbox would go back to Pacific City and create another Crackdown for that. And it wasn't really them. Microsoft eventually paid to have that made for Crackdown 3, but it was like real time. What were they called? Real time worlds or something that originally created it. But that was a big game on the 360. A lot of people, of course, talked about Forza Motorsport 3 was big on the 360. Me, I wasn't super big on motorsport games at the time until later on the Xbox One where I got into Forza. Left 4 Dead was definitely a big game on the 360. That's another game I played multiplayer, even though you're with 4 other people and stuff. It was a PvE 4-player shooter. 2008 for Left 4 Dead. Rock Band. That's when Rock Band and Guitar Hero and all the big band games. It was basically Guitar Hero and Rock Band when they came to the scene, and it was just rocking out hard and songs and stuff, and you have your plastic guitars and drums and stuff like that. That was in 2007. That was really big. So a lot of great games on the 360, mind you. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, a big RPG that came out in 2006. And it was just breathtaking at the time with the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. At the time with the graphics, how big the world was. You had Patrick Stewart narrating it and stuff like that. Mind you, that was a giant game that I bought. I bought the collector's edition of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion at the time. Now you can just play the remastered version on Game Pass, or if you buy it or something like that, you could do that as well. I'm just quickly scrolling through all these games and stuff that I'm looking at here that mean something to me. Bioshock came out in 2007. Another great series. Cannot wait till if a new Bioshock comes out, even though it's not made by the same people. It's made by the same people. It's not made by what's his name? Shoot, Ken Levine. Yes, it's not made by Ken Levine. We just know that they're working on a new Bioshock game over there at Take-Two. Ken Levine's working on his own game. He's got his own Bioshock-esque type of game that he's working out on. So that game I'm interested in as well. But Bioshock at the time, another revolutionary game, first-person like shooter thing, and you got Big Daddies, Little Sisters, all that. The world, underwater world and stuff. Crazy series that came out for the 360. Also came out, I think, for the PS3 and stuff, but very big for 360, and it ran very well, and it was a very good thing. Going to Rapture, underwater shooting, stuff like that, very big. The Fable series, Fable 2, loved it. Hopefully the latest Fable game that will eventually come out will be good. Whenever we hear about the latest Fable, hopefully it's going to be good. Fable 2 came out in 2008. I also played the original Fable. They even had the Fable remastered and stuff I played. Always was a big Fable fan. Fable 3 was okay. It wasn't the best of the Fables. And I already talked about Grand Theft Auto 4. That was always big at the time. In this article, they got the wrong picture for Grand Theft Auto 4. This is completely a different picture. This picture is from Grand Theft Auto 5, so I don't know what they're showing here in this article. They got GTA 5 picture of instead of Nikolai Bellic in there. But that revolutionized everything. Grand Theft Auto 4, Russian protagonist. I was just streaming it on Friday, GTA 4. That revolutionized Grand Theft Auto for the 360, the next generation, next stepped up in graphics and open world textures and stuff like that, and gameplay just blew me and a whole bunch of people out of the water. And the story was amazing. And yeah, the biggest franchise on earth going next gen with 360 and PS3 to allow more open world possibilities than ever before. And while the previous 3D games all debuted as PlayStation exclusive, GTA 4 would ship day and date on the 360. But Microsoft wanted more than that, so they paid through the nose for time and exclusivity on both GTA 4's brilliant expansion packs, The Lost and the Damned, and The Ballad of Gay Tony. Yes, I really like those things. Yeah, that was great. That was great at the time. Of course, Call of Duty, people liked. Call of Duty 4, 2007. A lot of you people loved Mass Effect. I did not. I never liked any of the Mass Effect games. I just never got into them. That was 2007, but a lot of you people loved the Mass Effect games. I tried playing Mass Effect. I just really never got into it. It was never my thing. I already talked about Gears of War. That was 2006. Halo 3, 2007. Just so many great games, so many great titles on that system. And like I said, the presentation, the sheer presentation that Microsoft gave on that console and what it would become that era. It was a big era. Microsoft and Xbox was the thing during that time. It was not real. Sure, PlayStation had their thing with their JRPGs and all their Japanese games and stuff like that. And, of course, Nintendo had, their Nintendo audience. But Microsoft turned from the Xbox to the 360 into something so big and so amazing that like I said, I always thought it would just keep going and we'd get bigger and better. But then it got, after Don Matrix came into play and fucked up the Xbox One launch and stuff, and with all his speak and stuff, and they totally lost everybody. That's just when the turning point happened, right there that second, and then everything just started falling apart. And now look at where it is now, and look how bad everything got. And it's just like, even though I'm still an Xbox fan in general, and I'm just saying for the brand and still what it kind of still offers in the way of, Game Pass and stuff like that nowadays, and, still getting some great games. And then you got your play games anywhere, play anywhere type of games and all that stuff. And I'm still getting some decent stuff. It's just not the same. And, more and more people are just getting sick of Microsoft's corporate bullshit, and they're leaving for like PlayStation or PC or something like that, or Nintendo, of course. And it's just so horrible, And Phil Spencer tried, he's still trying, but once you're going up against the juggernaut that is Microsoft corporate, and they're so not anybody up on the top of that heap anymore. Corporate Microsoft, none of them care about the gaming. They just want to milk the gaming division as much as they can, get as much money out of it as they can, and they don't really care. They're not gamers, up there. And I'm not talking about Phil Spencer and them. I'm talking about Nadella and all of them. Not gamers. Don't give a shit about the gaming division. They just care about AI, and AI is ruining so much stuff right now. I just heard so many people talk about how the price of memory and soon to be storage and hard drives and stuff is all going to go really high up because of AI been buying up all the chips, all the memory chips and stuff, and fucking up everything. The AI initiative fucking up everything. Until that whole bubble bursts, we're still going to be stuck in this whole global hell that is AI bullshit, and these corporations that are still spending billions and billions of dollars on nothing. AI is nothing. Sure, it has its fun little parlor tricks, and it can do little tasks here and there, but it's nothing. It's generally nothing, and it's going to be nothing. I don't believe in AI that much. I believe in AI up to a point where it could help things, but beyond what they're thinking that it's going to be able to do, I believe in none of that. And foolishly spending billions of dollars on something that is only going to come to an end, and then it's all going to go down the drain. And we hear trickles of people pulling out their money right now out of the AI bullshit because they're probably hearing all these people all around them saying, fuck AI. And why would you want to invest in something where everybody hates it, where everybody says unanimously they don't want it? Why would you want to invest in something like that literally doesn't have any chance of getting your money back? And it's not going to be sentient. It's not going to be anything like that. It's not going to be super smart. It's just a bunch of code and parlor tricks to get things working, that does certain things, interesting things, and it does amazing things. But yet still, there's no reason to keep investing. And they spend so much money on these chips and these memory chips and all that, and it's causing the rest of everybody else's industry to get hurt and fall and flounder. And it's not like Samsung and all these other memory companies out there are gonna make bigger fabs to produce more memory, because I'm pretty sure in the background they understand that this can all go away. NVIDIA, all these people, I think they can all see maybe this could all go away. Let's get the money that we can right now, and then it's all going to go pop, and then there goes all the AI. And then there goes all the stock market, and there goes everything else, and then we're going to have floods of memory chips and everything in the market, and that's when everything gets really cheap again, and for at least a short period of time, until they all stop making it all because they got so much product out there that they're like, oh shoot, no, we can't sell it. And they got to start, making it all cheap again. And NVIDIA will come back to saying, hey, we never left you gamers. We still love you gamers. We want to make more graphics cards for you gamers. That's what everybody's going to say. And then Microsoft's going to go, oh, fuck, we really fucked up. What are we going to do? All our companies all fucking burning and getting destroyed right now. Oh, we fucked up the Xbox division so badly now. And how are we going to get all these gamers back onto the Xbox when we fucked it all up because we're stupid? Nadella and everybody's going to get shamed forever on this. It's just a lot of bullshit from the AI. But back in the day when it was greener pastures and it was better times, the Xbox 360 was at a good point. It was a great point in my life. Sure, I'm still working, doing stuff, but I was playing a lot of 360 people. During the 360 era, I played a lot of games. I play a lot of games now, but I played more games during the 360 era, I think. I think I play less games now than I did when I was younger, because I had less responsibilities back at that time. My mom was still alive and around. I was still living with her, doing stuff, and she did all the other stuff, and I did some stuff, but I was just sitting on my ass playing video games, eating pizza and stuff, and watching Netflix. And Tech TV was still Tech TV back at the time before they changed to G4 Tech TV, and then before that, then after that it was just G4. But that was at a sweet point in my life that I truly miss till this day. That was a great sweet point that I love till this day. And like I said, even though things are super bad everywhere and things are broken and stuff, and the Xbox brand isn't as it used to be, I still like it. I'm still going to be an Xbox guy. I'm PC and ROG Ally, but still Xbox in the ecosystem. I just purchased two more games, which I forgot to bring up here. I just purchased two more games. Why isn't that not going up? There we go. Let's see here. I got to open this up. Yeah, but I purchased two more games. So, where is it? Do I have, or did I get rid of them by accident? I think I got rid of them. Oh shit. I could just go into my Xbox account and just look at what I purchased. Forgive me, folks. Bad pod right here. This is Mr. Mike and Bad Pod. I'm logging into my Xbox account online because I deleted my receipts on my Xbox thing. But I've just purchased Death Come True. That was only like $5. And Borderlands 3, which I said I was going to buy eventually for PC, but I was not spending no $50 for it. Well, it's on sale right now, currently. I think they said till December or something for these games, a lot of these games. Borderlands 3, you can get the PC version of Borderlands 3 for $5.99 or something like that, right? It was only like $5 something. Yeah, on sale now, save $54 on it. So it says I own it already, but I didn't buy no season pass or bundles or anything like that. But let's see here. Let me go to the other stuff here. Yeah, $5.99 because I just switched over. So Borderlands 3, if you just want the basic Borderlands 3 and you want to be able to play it for PC and get achievements and stuff like that, because it does offer achievements and stuff like that. It offers its own achievements. It doesn't say that here, though. That's weird. It doesn't say it on the store, but if I go into my Xbox PC app here, it does have achievements. So I'm going to have to look at that. But yeah, because it doesn't show up here on this, which is weird that it doesn't show that here. But it does offer Xbox achievements, and it's only $6. So I didn't have to spend $50 on some stupid Borderlands 3 game, you know, because I wasn't going to. And then this, why I bought Death Come True, it's from Izanagi Games. This is some weird game that I said I might as well buy and play, and I could play it on anything. Everything rides on your choices. It's a new wave interactive movie game. Experience thrilling science fiction mystery in a full-length live-action format. It's from the creator of Danganronpa series, Kazuutaka Kodaka. If you know what I'm talking about, I'm probably really ripping up the name. So it's basically a FMV game, basically. Simple, intuitive controls mean playing Death Come True is easy as watching a movie. So that's what it is. It's all a bunch of these Japanese characters in here. It looked really cool to me. And I said to myself, why not buy this? It was only $5. It was only $5. So I bought it. And why not? Try it out. So that's me in a nutshell, folks. I bought a couple more games. This is my pre-Black Friday sale kind of thing. I was looking all over the place. I was looking on Steam for games, what games are on sale in there. Like I said, Xbox had a bunch of games, but these were the two games that I said, these might be the games that I want to buy. Is Borderlands 3, so I don't have to stream it anymore, and this Japanese game that I will eventually play on a Let's Play or something like that. But still having some good, decent deals going on with games digitally. Now that mostly all your games are digitally now and not just on discs and stuff like that. So, yeah, I guess happy 20th birthday, Xbox 360. For all of you that still own a 360, like I said, I still own a 360. I don't know if I'll ever pull that sucker out and play it ever again. But I still own one. Like I said, I still own a 360. I own an Xbox One. And then, of course, I have my Series X console. So I own most of the Xbox era of consoles still. Even though I just played the main one. And backwards compatibility and stuff and playing on PC has been just so much easier nowadays. But it changed me. It changed me from just being PlayStation guy to full on Xbox. And then, like I said, PS4 and all that just never really took to me. Tried the PS4 out at my friend's house, even though I bought one. Returned mine after I just really didn't like it. I didn't like the controllers and stuff. I didn't like anything. That was the PlayStation 4. And the PS5, what games are for it that you can't get on a Xbox or a PC or something like that, you know? So technically, I still haven't had any reason to buy a new PlayStation, especially if they put out their games now on Steam and such. I just buy their games on Steam, whatever games that come from the first-party studios that intrigue me enough to buy. So that's my feeling on the matter. And now that Xbox is more of, we're going to make and publish everywhere, everybody can enjoy these games, you know, if you like it or not. And before, I was a console fanboy. I was a big Xbox console fanboy in a way. I never dissed PlayStation too much back in the day because I'm like, PlayStation was awesome too. Until PS4 and stuff. That's when I started dissing PlayStation more. But otherwise, I was never big on the console wars thing. I liked it. I was always Team Xbox because I owned an Xbox and I played it the most. But still, I would play PC and stuff and PlayStation rarely, and then Nintendo stuff as well. I played everything, and I still will play everything depending on what I get in the future. If I ever get that Switch 2 in the future, I'll play Switch 2 games. If I don't, I don't. Otherwise, it'll be Xbox and PC games going forward, you know? And like I said, I don't think I'll ever buy another Sony gaming system ever again, because if they do just keep offering these games on PC and such, I'll just buy their games on PC. So technically, I'm still playing PlayStation games. It's just on a PC or something like that. So not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. You know, more choice to where you want to play. I think that's a great thing. And I think if that's Microsoft's strategy going forward, which it looks like to be, that should be good for them. Now let's talk about strategies like with Steam Machine. I was talking about that last week of Valve showing off their Steam machines and Steam headset hardware and their new Steam controller and stuff like that. And I talked a bit about it. I didn't talk a lot about it. I talked a bit what I knew about it, what I thought about it. And then I wanted to hear what the rest of the people in the industry was saying, podcasters, game reviewers, stuff like that. I wanted to hear what others out there were saying about the Steam Machine and what they felt about it. And a lot of them have come to either on dramatic sides really love the Steam Machine, thinking this is going to be a great new thing from Valve and using the Steam OS. You know, you hear that from those sort of people out there. And then you got the people that go, why would anybody want to buy a Steam Machine? You got a PC, you got this and that. They like the Steam OS part of it still, but they're like, Steam Machine is not something that Valve is going to support forever because Valve is Valve. And I forget about some of this stuff, but yes, and it came to into my head. I'm like, yes, you're right. Valve is Valve. And if you know Valve like I do and a lot of other people do, and I forgot totally about this, Valve has the problem, especially nowadays, of focusing on stuff. They don't like to focus. They don't like to keep on going on with certain stuff. They can't fixate on a single thing very long. They like to jump around. They like to do new and different things. There's not that many people working at Valve. They like to do what they want to do and not what the rest of the people in the industry wants to do. They do what they do. Their biggest thing, Steam. That is something that they will always do in the future because they're Steam. They're the major PC storefront. They're the monopoly, as everybody likes to say, for selling PC games and stuff. And that's it. And of course, you got Microsoft, I would think, is second for the Xbox for PC store. It's getting better. I know people still doubt it, and they say because the games are different than the Steam store games. I don't know what to say about that, but I buy a lot of games on Xbox for PC, and I have no troubles with them. So I don't know why other people have troubles with certain games on there. I originally don't. I don't know if it's just because I have a custom PC, but I also play them on my Xbox ROG Ally and stuff. So I don't know when other people were having some things. So that's here and there on that. But, you got the Epic Store, and I think NVIDIA has something, but they have their streaming service for NVIDIA. But mostly it's just Steam. And they want people to buy their games on Steam. And they figure, well, we'll just try to make the Steam Machine. Because the last time they made a Steam Machine, it didn't work out as well because they went to third parties. Everything was different. They weren't cheap. They were still bigger machines and stuff back in the day. And now, years and years later, making Steam OS and stuff like that, helping games run on Linux better and stuff for a lot of games, they've been trying to get people back into their own little ecosystem and their own Steam OS system mostly, and that's why they're trying out the Steam Machine concept again with these the Xbox, or we like to call it here in the industry, the Gabe Cube. Some people really hate saying that, but I think it's funny. But it is not that powerful of a box. It is a nice box. It is not that powerful of a box, and people are on both sides about the main thing of how much storage and memory it has in there. Mainly, people are talking about the VRAM a lot, which 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Some people say, oh, it'll do just fine. It'll do a decent job. And I'm like thinking, but no, 8 gigabytes of VRAM won't do that much because if it had more, it would be able to do that higher, HDR and stuff like that, and 4K and stuff like that they state it can possibly do. I always found out that more VRAM helps a lot better than less, because more is better than less. It's just a factor right there. If you have more of something like VRAM or just and regular RAM in your system, it's better than having less than it, because then that means more resources could be used and to go into that and be utilized with the VRAM and RAM like that for, video. VRAM is for video RAM, for graphics and stuff that go on your TV set and stuff. And the more you have of it, the better the picture, the better it looks and stuff, the more that could get stored into that VRAM to be processed and stuff like that, quicker, faster. And it just doesn't have that much. And when Gabe Newell and them say, well, you could even put Windows on this thing if you really wanted to, if you didn't want to use the Linux-based SteamOS version of it. And it's like, that would be even worse, because then that would mean that Windows 11 and stuff would have less RAM in there, unless if you're able to upgrade the RAM section and put some new RAM in the slots, which as of now, RAM is super expensive and stuff, as everybody's touting. I went on Amazon.com, though, and I looked up RAM prices, like for my computer and stuff, and it still seemed pretty cheap. Now, if you're buying like the latest, greatest RAM, maybe it's more expensive, but, DDR4, I think I have DDR4 RAM in here, 3 or 4 in here. I think it's 4. It's got to be 4, because it can't be 3. It's got to be 4. It's not that expensive if I want to upgrade my RAM. Unless if I'm going into like the 128 gigabyte RAM category or something. If I wanted to get like 64 gigs of RAM in my system, because I have 32 right now still, which you would think it still seems pretty low, but it's good. But if I wanted to put in, and I got to check my RAM here again. Bad podcasting again, folks. Let me get into here. System. I want to get in my system. I want to get into this, and I might have to pause this for a second. Okay, I'm back. You didn't notice a thing. But I was just looking at my settings here. I got my 32 gigs of RAM here. And according to Windows, it says it's perfectly fine and super fast. Of course, I have more than 4 gigs of GPU memory in there. With GDDR6 memory in my computer, so I'm really good on that. But yeah, I could go easily to 64 gigs of RAM if I wanted to. It's showing me that I have 12 gigabytes of video RAM, 32 gigs of regular RAM, which is at 2,133 MITs per second, it's telling me. That's new system information that they're showing in the system stuff. Pretty good. I like that. But have a lot of storage, of course. But yeah, my computer, like I said, custom built computer for me, holds all that. Now, this Steam machine, they're trying to make it as, what should I say, cheaply as possible, which if memory and storage and all those prices are going up, and they're supposedly coming out with this thing next year, and plus, who knows what tariffs might be put onto the Steam machine, it could become way more expensive. So when I was saying, when a lot of people would want to buy this system for like, if it was like a $350, $400 system, everybody out there would be buying a Steam machine. Valve would be killing it, because everybody would have these Steam machines. Everybody would be buying purely just from the Steam store. They would be killing it in the gaming market. And this would be like something that would be a pretty big competitor in the PC and gaming console market, even though a lot of these gaming journalists and industries consider this just a gaming PC, and not really a console, which, yeah, I can understand that, but are most consoles nowadays more like PCs, except you can't just put Windows or anything on it, even though Xbox is kind of running a base version of Windows in the Xbox Series consoles and stuff, but still, they're going to be more PC-like next year, or in the upcoming years, I should say. So what's going to be the difference between a Steam machine and these other consoles, besides others running different operating systems or Windows and stuff like that? But like I said, if it's gonna be what a lot of people are saying, $700 or more for the higher end version of the Steam machine, and then maybe $500 or $600 for the lower end one with less RAM and less storage to it or something, or is it just less storage? I don't know. I feel like if Valve doesn't want to take a hit, if they don't want to price this as low as they can price it to try to get utilize and try to get people on board with it, then it's just going to be a regular seller. People will buy it. People will buy it just like they bought the Steam Deck, but I don't think they're going to sell as many as they would like a PC purchase would be, because a lot of people would just want to buy more PCs and stuff to put this on. And you can put SteamOS on a PC and stuff like that if you wanted to. So it's not a big thing, especially if you want a more powerful machine to do more things with it. This is good for starter people if they want to get into PC gaming early on, especially if you just want to start off with a machine like this. As I'm looked into it more and heard what people have to say, this is a good starter machine for people. But later on, if you want to get into more powerful systems and you want to go beyond console gaming, because console gaming, it's still its own thing. It's a shrinking market. It's getting more expensive. It's getting still more complicated. And eventually it's going to be PC-like in every way, shape, or form. And I know a lot of people out there, including a Jeff Gersman, say, no, PC gaming is totally different than console gaming, and people don't really want to learn, and they shouldn't have to learn how to use a PC. Here's the thing, Jeff. People are going to have to learn how to use a PC one way or another, because all your consoles going forward are going to be PC-like more than ever, excluding Nintendo, of course. But Sony, it's going to be more PC-like for Sony as well, eventually, because eventually they're not just going to use their own custom silicon and their own stuff in the PlayStation, because eventually they're going to be charging so much that nobody's going to want to buy their stuff. Microsoft, they're going to go on full head where their next-gen consoles are going to be all PCs and handhelds and stuff, and they're going to utilize that bigger market out there, because people like me buying the Xbox ROG Ally X that has been selling out like crazy, and Asus is like, wow, even its demand for the Xbox ROG Ally X has been bigger than they were thinking, and they're trying to ramp up production as best they can to meet demand. People are just going to PC nonetheless. Now, people are going to have a hard time if they have never used a PC before to get into PC gaming. And I say that as a PC guy, it will get easier for you, but I believe people should learn. And I think the initial learning curve to what you get out of it later on, if you learn how to use and play gaming and game on PCs and stuff, is going to be far better than owning a console, because you get far more possibilities of things coming out, and everything comes out to a PC eventually. And overall, you can use the PC for more stuff. You can use it for work, play. You can hook it up to your TV, use it as a media center. I got a mini PC hooked up to my TV as my media center now. And it is just far more things you could do for it for the price that you're paying for it, which could be upwards to, I hate to say, the sticker shock on it if you want to spend. And it's probably it's definitely could be a lot higher than this, up to $4,000. I spent like $4,000+ on my custom computer over the years. I had this computer for 6+ years, it's saying now. And it is a powerhouse. It has a lot of stuff in it. Sure, I would love to put 64 gigs of RAM in there. That might be my next upgrade to my machine, maybe down the road. But as of right now, 32 gigs of RAM, awesome. I got all new drives in there. I got 2 M.2 drives, one for the operating system, one for my games and such. I got all the extra drives for all my recordings and everything else that I do. But it plays games like a champ. It plays everything. I play emulators, I play games on this machine. It does all that stuff. My Xbox ROG Ally X does a lot of great gaming. It plays a lot of the PC games, plays a lot of the other stuff, plays Steam games, does it all like a champ. And it's a lesser system. And it's still a PC, so you could still use it as a PC. For people that don't want to learn the PC, I don't know what to say. Maybe try to stick, because here's another thing. Here's another point. The Xbox Series consoles and the PlayStation consoles are going to be here for a very long time. Some people are predicting they will be making games continuously, and I'm talking about the industry, is going to continue to make and support these consoles for at least another 8 to 10 years. That is what it has been stated. That is what people are predicting out in the industry. Talking about this from game journalists and stuff, they're all predicting that this console cycle is going to go way beyond what we even thought was way too far on the last console cycles. Because first off, has anybody really utilized the PS5, PS5 Pro, Xbox Series consoles yet? Not really. They're still very powerful systems. You could still make a ton of great games. And does the gaming industry in general really want to spend even more money and more time on more higher end graphical games going forward? Because then think about your margins going down. Think about how costly and how much more time. Look at how Grand Theft Auto 6 is doing. It's being pushed back like crazy. A lot of these games are being pushed back farther out because it's just costing more money and costing more time and effort that they can utilize to make a great game, but they don't have to make them all super big and powerful. And a better game does way better than just a graphics powerhouse. That is what games are being made as of now. Now, note, I still like playing very good-looking, powerful games, but there is a line that is going to be drawn going forward. And hey, if I can keep my Series X console and it still plays and gets updated and plays the future games for at least 5 years to come in the future, I will be very happy. Because then that means all that money I spent back when the Series X came out will go to nothing. It won't be for nothing. Even though I played it for a lot, and I play more on my Xbox or on my PCs and stuff right now, but at least I'll have that machine for another 5 to plus 10 years going down the road, that it'll still be able to play games on it, that new games will still come out on it. I look to that. I'm in no hurry. I'm sure a lot of other people are in no hurry to go to a next-gen console yet. Nobody. Unless if there's some big reason to go to a next-gen console. And if these next-gen consoles, like the Xbox next-gen, is going to be more PC-centric, Microsoft will hopefully try to get PCs to just run these games. They are looking into, as we hear loosely, into trying to get these games from the Xbox and Xbox 360 and Xbox One and Xbox, series sort of era of games to be playable on PC eventually, if they're not already PC games out there for these titles. So my fingers are crossed on that. I'm hoping that. For Steam and the Steam machine, like I said, at the time when I was talking about this, and before all this news came out about memory prices jumping up like crazy and storage prices and all that stuff going up like crazy because the industry's just utilizing all that so wrong. And like I said, corporations are just sucking up for their AI bullshit stuff. I would have said maybe we would have seen a $399, $400, a $3-something to $400 Steam machine, Gabe box, Gabe Cube come out. But now as I hear it, now I'm looking in the $600 to $700+ range. Probably something if you really like Steam and all that, and you really just want a little machine to play just games off of Steam, on your Steam OS, and you're willing to accept some of its shortcomings, like online multiplayer for a lot of games. You can't play Battlefield or Call of Duty on there because of anti-cheat and stuff like that. That's a big thing still for Steam machines and Steam OS and all that. And the fact that Valve might not support this thing very long. They supported the Steam Deck for a long time because it's been a very big success. But if the Steam machine isn't a big success because of a price point or something, then you never know. Maybe they won't do as much as they will. I hear they're still working very hard on Steam OS and all that stuff, but as long as people are buying games from their Steam store, they don't care where you buy your games. They don't care what you play on. And that's the same kind of message Microsoft and Xbox is doing right now. We don't care where you buy your games. We're not caring on what machine you buy nowadays. As long as you're buying it from us, the games and all that stuff, and then we're getting some money from it, hey, it's all good. It's all good. If you're subscribing to Game Pass, it's all good. But like I said, as of right now, I'm like, okay, I'll probably definitely be passing on the Steam machine if it's going to be a very high price point. And two, I got a supercomputer here. I got a computer in the living room that could probably play Steam games if I want to, even though it's not the most high-end gaming machine out there. But it is the boss game, as it's called. They say it can play games. It has the CPU, GPU thing like a ROG Ally or something in it. So it technically could play a lot of these games as well, but why would I want to? And then I got my Xbox. I do got my Series X, but I also got my Xbox ROG Ally X. So I'm good. I'm good all around on gaming, on what to game on for what I want to play games. Most of my games. So got to think of that. And that's what I've been thinking of. And I don't have no ill notions or anything about Valve or Steam or anything like that. I like Valve. I like Steam. I like Game Newz. And hey, they continue to do their thing. Let them continue to do their thing. I still buy games on Steam. I still play a lot of my games I got on Steam from my Steam store. I wish they would make the Steam store in my library better with the interface and stuff with all these pop-ups coming up lately. But and it's always updating. Steam is always updating. Every time I start up Steam, it's like updating. I'm like, updating again, eh? But otherwise, I have no problems with them. And I'm interested to see where these go. The Steam controller, I'm so used to my Xbox controller and the Series controller that I now have and stuff like that. I don't think I'd ever get a Steam controller. I never cared for the notion of the Steam controller. Not the original, this new one. If I ever play one, sure, I'll try it out. But I don't know. I like my Xbox controller. I think Microsoft did a very good job on the Xbox controllers, and they're just a good controller that you can play your games anywhere on. PC, console, whatever. Steam games, Xbox games, doesn't matter. I think that's purely the best controller. And plus they have them at like $30 on sale usually. Why not? There's nothing to that. I got nothing more to speak about that. And the headset, the VR headset, I don't know. I'm not into VR. Never was, never will be. That's probably going to be very expensive as well, but hey, people still like VR, and I guess Steam VR is still a thing. So, hey, Gabe Newell's got the money. He'll throw out anything he can to get people on board. But if there's no games for VR out there, really, why bother? Sure, you get the big screen on your in your eye effect, but I got screens here. I got a portable screen. I'm good. So nothing more to say about that too much. I just wanted to talk about how the prices of the Steam machine and all that hardware is probably going to go way higher than anybody's thinking or that we thought because of memory and storage and stuff. Prices have jumped crazily, which is crazy to think, but it's happened before. It's happening now again. And some people are saying this is the worst time that Valve could be releasing the Steam machine. And frankly, is there ever going to be a good time going forward? the way that the world is and the way costs and prices and things are manufactured going forward, I don't know. I think they got no choice. Just like how everybody else has no choice on what to make and release and what price points they do. It's just the world we live in. Just got to accept it, folks. I'm sorry to say. But that's all I got to say on it. And good luck to Valve, and we'll see what they price it at in 2026 and see when it comes out. And we'll see how people like it. Before I talk about this December's holiday plans a little bit, before we get into the Gamez Newz Now, I'm still working on my review of the Xbox ROG Ally X. I'm almost done with it. I'm at that, and I wrote a whole bunch of it yesterday. I was on the computer here just typing away this big, long article, and I'm sorry. I try not to write big, long articles, but this is like a big, long article because I don't like writing articles. I don't like writing. And I am planning on doing a little video. It's going to be a shortish video of me talking about it and stuff, getting into some stuff. And I got some video footage and some photos I'm going to put up on this article and stuff. But it should be available by Thanksgiving. And hopefully... if everything's good and I get it up by then, hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'll let you guys know about it, but it should be up this week. Get ready for it. But I really wanted to do an article, like a review on the Xbox ROG Ally X, because I've been using that ROG Ally since the first one came out, the ROG Ally Extreme, when it came out, 3+ years ago? And loved that device ever since. And this device just blowing my mind on what it can do, what it can play. And it's so easy for me to play on it. Like I said, sure, it's a PC in your hand, but it plays all these games very well if you know how to utilize the system and the operating system and stuff. It's not going to be for everybody. I can surely say that, but if you're willing to learn how to use and play an Xbox ROG Ally or a ROG Ally anything, even if you get the older ROG Allies, trust me, you will like it very much. I know a lot of people still out there hates Windows, and a lot of people complain about how Windows runs and does certain things and all that. A lot of those things you can turn off. A lot of those things can be gone and turned off and disappeared. And if you get this with the interface and stuff, you get the Xbox ROG Ally X, a lot of that stuff is gone away. And a lot more power is just put into for gaming on that device. And I like it. I like it. Bottom line, I like it. Like I said, the review, I will hopefully type more today and get the rest of it done today, typed out. Maybe I'll even try to get some of the video done today. And then hopefully, like I said, by Thanksgiving time, I'll get it out there for you guys. If not, it'll be that weekend. It's not like everybody's clamoring. It's not like you're going to see any big Black Friday deals on the Xbox ROG Ally X at all, or any of the ROG Allies, or many of the gaming handhelds out there anyways, because everything's expensive in hardware now. So it's not like it's a must, but I want to get it out at that time because, frankly, it's time for me to turn in my homework and actually put out my little review on it because I played it so much. I did so many things with it. There's one more thing I'm going to try to do on it, and that's going to be probably for the video portion. I'm not going to write that in there because emulators is not the biggest thing. I played on my original ROG Ally. I played game emulators on that, and it worked just fine. I bet it's the same thing with this as well, so I'm not too big on it. But I got to try to put on some emulators on it to see how my Dolphin works on there, so I could play some Fortune Street on there and stuff. Yes, Fortune Street. I've been playing that as well. But yep, that review article and video, whatever, should be going up hopefully this week. Like I said, I wrote a whole lot of it. And forgive me if you don't like to read, because I don't like to write. But hopefully it's good. Hopefully you'll like it. So this December holiday show plans going forward for me as of right now, because I've said I was going to talk about these again, and I've hammered them down. So for December, I'm actually making some holiday stuff. I'm supposed to, hopefully on the 13th. Now this stuff is happening on Saturdays. So like the 13th and stuff in December, which is still a little ways away. Planning on making my holiday pierogies. I make farmer's cheese pierogies at the house, and I make them. I make the dough. I make the stuffing. I close them up. I even purchased a little pierogi making machine, hopefully, or a dumpling making machine. It's called dumpling, but it's pierogies too. I'm hoping it works somewhat good because crimping them is the worst thing possible, and I want to see if this machine does a better job at it than me just doing it by hand and stuff. We'll see. And I got a dough making machine that I ordered. All this stuff is coming in December 1st, so I'm going to try it out. So I got a dough making machine instead of just bringing out my big giant mixer to mix the dough, even though it makes dough really good. I want to see if this dough machine works better, and it's a lot easier to clean up and stuff, because having a big mixer and all this stuff, just so much stuff to make these pierogies, and I want to see if I can make them a little bit better, a little bit faster. They're going to be smaller because I make them, they're like huge. Like it's hard to tell on my screen here, but they're usually like pretty big pierogies that I make. These are going to be like a little bit smaller, as like I said, they're dumplings as they call them, but still smaller, get more of them. You can stuck more of these in your mouth and they cook faster, so you can eat more than ever. So it's not a big deal either, but I'm going to be making those probably on the 13th. So each weekend, each Saturday, I'm pretty much going to be doing stuff. That's what I'm saying. So the 13th and the 20th are both Saturdays before Christmas and stuff. And I pretty much am guaranteed to be busy doing that stuff on the weekends. I mostly claim the Saturdays. It might roll into Sundays as well for at least the cheese pierogies part of it. Doesn't look like anything will be moved. There might not be any Let's Plays during the week, but there will still be GameOn Lives on Fridays, so you don't have to worry about that. And the podcast, if I do come out with some podcasts, I think it's going to be around New Year's when I do that. But the podcast, I think, is going to be still coming out, but it's going to be shorter podcasts. I'm not going to not do any podcasts. I might pause doing podcasts in January for a little bit, for like a week or two, but because that's when I take my little podcast break and whatever. I usually do that. But ultimately, I'm still going to do podcasts. They're going to be a lot shorter because there's not going to be much in gaming news at all or whatever. But they'll be short. They'll be something different. Not that any of my podcasts are ever short. This is almost going to 2 hours right now. But it should be a decent schedule. Like I said, I will post all my scheduling on things and videos that I will do on the schedule part of my podcast, of my website at OldFreakyGamer.com. If you want to go there, go to the schedule, and I will have it all posted there, and times and dates and stuff. But I think if anything's not going to be shown during those weeks, it's probably going to be the Let's Plays and stuff. But I'll still be able to do my GameOn Lives during the nights on Fridays, and I still will be doing the podcast. But things can change. But I just wanted to update that for holiday stuff. And for Christmas, I really want to maybe do a special Christmas stream. I might even do an earlier Christmas stream. Like, I might do a Christmas stream, and then I might do a GameOn stream after that on Friday. So there might be a double stream that week during Christmas time. Haven't really put that down yet, but that's a plan. That's always plans. But I always want to keep you guys updated on that stuff for things that I do, because, you know, the rest of the industry, you know, all these other podcasters and such and video makers, they like to take off and say, well, we're taking off for the holidays, we're taking off for Christmas and this and that, so there won't be any podcasts or videos or blah, blah, blah. Me, I want to guarantee I will still keep on doing this stuff throughout the holidays. at least until January. Then I'll take off maybe 2 weeks for podcasting or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. It's going as it was, but I want to let you guys know I still continue to do stuff. So if you want to watch stuff, come here at OldFreakyGamer.com or OldFreakyGamer on YouTube or Twitch.tv. I'm at OldFreakyGamer on there as well. And you can watch my stuff. So the games that I have played in the past week. So let's get into this before we get into the Gamez Newz Now.
What you loaded, ready for the fight. Game talk news, gonna set the stage alight. Mr. Mike's got the scoop, he ain't holding back. Dropping bombs on the gaming industry track. Hear the thunder, feel the roar. Game talk news, gonna settle the score. From E3 to PAX, they got it all. The highs and lows, ready to brawl.
There we go. I'll end it short. Oh, just talking about baking stuff, I forgot. I've been baking some cookies again. I baked some cookies yesterday. As you can tell on the video form of the show, I baked peanut butter cookies. Don't those look like really nice, thick, beautiful peanut butter cookies? These are very easy to make, and you don't use, these are no flour peanut butter cookies. Now you got to make them just right. You got to really bake them for a little extra time because then they really fall apart on you. I've been having some trouble yesterday because I didn't keep them in the oven long enough and they were falling apart. When I was trying to take them out and put them on a pan, they were just crumbling. They're really good peanut butter cookies. Very sugary. So, of course, your diabetes will go spike up crazy fast. But like I said, for the holidays, I've been definitely baking cookies already. And I got some Gamer peanut butter cookies here. And if anybody's interested in the recipe, maybe I will post a recipe of my holiday peanut butter cookies, no flour peanut butter cookies on the website at OldFreakyGamer.com because I think I should do that. I don't know. I think I will do that. I'll post that on there, and then you guys can make some peanut butter cookies for yourselves. And they're really good. I've been eating too many yesterday, so like I said, I'm eating way too much sugar. Good thing I brush my teeth every day and do my stuff because my teeth are still going to melt away eventually. But I don't drink any soda, so it's been a while for that kind of stuff. But yeah, these are very good. And with a glass of milk, oh, so good. So good. That's why I got them over here. I was eating a couple while I was doing some other stuff this morning. I was like, gotta have a peanut butter cookie. Oh, I gotta have another peanut butter cookie. And later on, I'm like, too many peanut butter cookies. So the games that I have played in this past week, folks, I've been playing some games. Like I said, cool season. Mr. Mike gets to play games. I beat this game, Diablo 4. Yes, folks, I saw credits. I saw end of game. Well, I saw end of game. They didn't really show credits. It just opens up into more seasonal stuff and extra stuff. But after the game said I beat it and I killed the Lilith, I stabbed her through her heart and stuff. Did I stab her? How did I? No, I beat the hell out of her, I think. I think that's what I did. But I killed her. She's dead. I think I got a video of that too on my Xbox ROG Ally X because you can easily capture video on that thing and it can capture very long video. You can keep capturing for a very long time on that thing. It's really remarkable because I can do a whole gaming session and just capture the whole gaming session on there. And it doesn't, it doesn't take away from the game playing or anything like that. But I was playing Diablo 4. I beat it. Now I'm done with it. I am so done. I beat it. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed playing all the Diablo 4 I can. I'm super rich. My Lilith character's super rich. And I whooped everybody's ass in that game. And I'm not buying any of the DLC or the seasons and stuff. I'm done. I considered it done. After killing Lilith, ending the story, the initial story, I'm done. Until the next Diablo comes. It was a very good Diablo game, and the fact that I was able to just play it and stream it from my Series X to my Xbox ROG Ally X, just like I was talking about before, is amazing. It's fun as hell, fun to play. Remote play is really good, and had my fun, and now I'm done with it. Now I've been starting up new games, which I will talk about second to last on this sheet. But Diablo 4 is now stroking off my list. I'm very happy that I got to play the rest of it and beat it. Such an old game now, but still a very fun game. Yep, looter, killer, shooter, whatever you want to consider it. Been continuing on my gameplay of simulators with Powerwash Simulator 2 on my ROG Ally and stuff. Having some fun with that, spraying and cleaning all sorts of things. Still a fun game, just like the first game. I forgot, I didn't know how far I was in this game. I'm pretty far into Powerwash Simulator 2. But what I'm trying to do now, which is going to make this game go even longer for me playing Powerwash Simulator 2, I'm going back to previous Power Washes that I did. Because I found out you can continue to make more money by going back to your previous Power Washes and doing those jobs over again in free play. And doing those jobs again earns you more money. At least that's what I think, because it looks like I'm earning more money, which means I can purchase those higher, more professional sprayers and stuff. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go back, do easier spray missions or whatever you want to call them, spray tasks and stuff, power washing tasks, get those done, and then go back, and eventually I'm going to buy better sprayers and stuff. I've been doing little upgrades here and there, earning some weird achievements here and there in Powerwash Simulator 2 with the gnome thing and stuff, but still, all in all, having a blast in that game. I love Powerwash Simulator and Simulator 2, and it's going to be a no-brainer that there's going to be a Powerwash Simulator 3 down the road after they come out with their DLC or whatever in Powerwash Simulator 2 and stuff. There's a no-brainer that there's going to be a Powerwash Simulator 3 down the road, because why not? Why not continue on with something that's that good? Why not continue with it, you know? So I've been playing on my Xbox ROG Ally X. It plays very good on that device. It's very good. Yeah, good game. And of course, last Friday, the Friday before this Monday, I was playing Grand Theft Auto 4 on the PC via Steam, let's just say, because I bought that game on Steam because that was the only place Grand Theft Auto 4 is being sold on PC, is on Steam, and I bought that, and I played it. I played it for the first time ever on PC, and it was me going back to the early days of Grand Theft Auto, and wow, GTA 4 looks great on the PC. It holds up very well. I'm very bad at driving in it, as you could tell, because the driving mechanics were a little different, wonkier in GTA 4, but so far the story, all that stuff is really good, and I just wanted to play. Like I said, I played GTA 5 the week before, and I played GTA 4 then, and I'm like, I wanted to just play these games just because of the whole GTA 6 being delayed again. I'm like, people, we got to go back to the older GTAs, like GTA 4 and Nico Bellic. I still hope and wish eventually in the future that they might get their heads out of their asses over at Rockstar and Take-Two, and they might actually try to, remaster from the ground up Grand Theft Auto 4 and bring the voice people back and all that. They should do that. They should really do that. I don't care if there's some falling out or not. They should really do that. If they really care about their legacy and their products, GTA 4 was a next step. Like I said, it was the next Grand Theft Auto for the next generation of consoles for the 360 and PlayStation 3, and it was a juggernaut. And it was a fun game. I beat it many times. Nico Bellic, he's still an awesome main character, a little weird and stupid, but, it's not like his dumb cousin, but still. badass character in the crime world as a Russian, why not? Bring that shit back. You know, they're doing it with Red Dead Redemption. Why not do a Grand Theft Auto 4? Bring it to the next-gen consoles. Come on, Mike. Come on, Rockstar. What are you fucking scared of? Thought you guys liked money. I know Take-Two likes money. Remaster that. Bring it to next-gen consoles and PC and make some money off of it in a remaster. I would totally buy it again. But, yeah, playing that just brought me back. And eventually I'll play it again. You know, we could do some future game-ons and stuff with that, or Let's Plays or whatever with Grand Theft Auto 4. You know, I'll continue playing the missions and stuff. I got it installed on my PC here. It's not going anywhere. I did delete GTA 5 from my main PC because I've been playing that on my Xbox ROG Ally X mostly. So I got the game saves there, and it's in the cloud, the game saves, so fingers crossed on that. But yeah, that's where I'm mostly going to play that game and not just PC and stuff like that. So got GTA 4 on here, though, and I will continue to play that. Another game I've been playing on my Xbox ROG Ally X. I've been playing this on my PC. Excuse me for that. Supermarket Simulator. Yes. Continuing on my adventures of being a grocery store owner, capitalist, and trying to make the best grocery store ever in Supermarket Simulator. I've been revamping, making my supermarket bigger. I lost a ton of money. I had to actually take out a loan. I've been trying super hard not to take out a loan, but I took out a little bit of loan because when I upgraded my whole store with a lot of stuff added to it, I looked at my money. I'm like, oh shit, I used up all my budget that I needed some extra budget for groceries and stuff. And I put it all into the store. So I was like, oh, I got to take out a little loan so I could get all these groceries to fill the store. So I did that, and now I'm making up my money again. And eventually that loan will be paid off sooner than later. And then I don't have to worry about it anymore. So, but such a fun game. It's another simulator game, and you know me, I like simulator games. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me, but Supermarket Simulator is so much fun. So well played. You got to play with a keyboard and mouse. You could play it with a controller, but keyboard and mouse I found out is better, especially if you got a numeric pad on your keyboard so you can type in the credit card prices and stuff, and makes it a whole lot faster to cash people out. I noticed, and using the mouse is a lot faster than using the analog sticks on a controller. That's when you need a keyboard and mouse for certain games like this. Now, you can play it on your console. It's also for consoles and PC or your Xbox ROG Ally X, but playing it with a keyboard and mouse is highly suggested better than a controller overall for me. But having fun with it, been playing it, probably play some today. Maybe I think that's going to be my Let's Play, is me playing some Supermarket Simulator again. Because why not? Why not have a Let's Play and play some more Supermarket Simulator? Because I'm crazy like that. Super Bomberman R2. Been playing that as a remote play game from my Series X to my Xbox ROG Ally X. I know it's crazy how all these X's and series and stuff. But been playing that game, remote played it on my handheld from my console because they didn't sell it for PC, for Xbox for PC, so I just got it for the console. Been having fun. The newer Bomberman and with Super Bomberman R and R2, they do have a different approach on their floatiness, on the characters, on Bomberman's character and stuff, and how they do story modes and stuff. It is really weird and different. Sometimes it's aggravating because you accidentally get your penguins and stuff killed and by these little rolling robots and stuff. But still fun, and I still play the regular Bomberman levels when you can just go around and try to kill the other Bombermen and stuff like that. They do have online multiplayer for this. I should try it out to see if people are still playing Super Bomberman R2 online. That is something I should really try to do and see. Maybe this week I'll try to do that. But yeah, I've been jumping on, playing a little bit of that from the console, remote playing that. Now that I'm not playing Diablo 4 anymore from that. But yeah, that's been fun. And the game that I'm now getting into, slowly but surely, again, Assassin's Creed Shadows. I did say I was going to get back into this game. I said, hey, Mr. Mike, that's going to be a major game for me to play. Even though I am playing Outer Worlds 2, I kind of paused it for a little bit. I will get back into it. I'm not going to leave that alone. I've just been trying out some other stuff. But Assassin's Creed Shadows, remote played from my Series X to my Xbox ROG Ally X. Pretty damn good. Pretty good, damn good gameplay. Sometimes it gets a little muddy at great times of play and stuff. Like that's just because of data going through my network and stuff like that. Sometimes, but really nothing really big. Otherwise, it's really smooth gameplay, really nice. It looks beautiful on my Xbox ROG Ally X and stuff like that, and the sound and the everything. It plays very well. And I've been having fun. I've been slowly getting into it, and definitely gotta get my character beefed up. She's gotta get more. Let's just say powerful, so she can whoop a lot of Japanese samurai ass and stuff like that. I took down some samurais, but one time I got myself synced. One time or another in the game, but very fun, very easy to play. Definitely going to be a fun Assassin's Creed game for me to continue to play. I might even try to play it on my PC for a stream or something in the future, because remote play from my console to my PC is a wired connection, so technically that's a lot less what should I say, interference or anything like that. It's a lot less I don't even know what to say. It's a lot less it's a direct connection. I'm not let's just say there's no I'm going to end it there, because I'm just going to put myself in a hole of trying to explain it more. Let's just say wired is always better than wireless, even though having things being able to play wireless is awesome. Wired is always better than wireless, just for connection purposes. So we're just going to leave it there for quality and connection purposes. But Assassin's Creed Shadows has been fun. And like I said, I'm early on in it, and I'm going to continue to play it. That's my new Diablo going forward, is Assassin's Creed Shadows. And then today, just before doing this podcast, and because I was doing some other stuff, I got into my emulation again. I went and updated Dolphin on my PC and stuff here and stuff. And I went back and I was watching this movie with Sylvester Stallone, Cobra. Never watched the movie before. Boy, it seems like a TV show to me, the Cobra. I don't know. I understood the movie. It just didn't seem that movie-like. But that was in, early 80s? Early 80s movie or whatever. Boy, it seems like it, because I'm like, very basic. Very basic. Fun, but very basic. Stupid premise. Stupid main villain, but very basic. A lot of action and suspense, but very basic. But during that, I was mostly focused in playing Fortune Street on the Wii emulation on Dolphin, because I was trying that. I had to reinitialize and get my controller to work on it, which I had to learn. I learned on the fly by myself. I'm like, why is this controller not working with it? And I'm like, oh shit, I got to enter in all the connections and all that again. Figured it out pretty quickly. And I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Because it's been a while since I did any of the emulators things from my emulators stuff. So it was fun playing Fortune Street. And that is going to be the game that I stream this Friday, upcoming Friday after Thanksgiving. So if you like Fortune Street or not, I just want to play a nice casual Friday night game. And I'm like, why don't I play either it's going to be one game or two games of Fortune Street on Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time here at OldFreakyGamer.com or YouTube live on, like I said, this Friday after Thanksgiving. Black Friday, I should say, at 8 p.m. Eastern time, or twitch.tv/OldFreakyGamer. Because I just wanted to play some Fortune Street again. And I still have the GameOn starter for it and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I want to play some more Fortune Street. I could be playing something else, but I'm thinking Fortune Street's going to be it. And then, like I said, well, after that, maybe I'll play Assassin's Creed Shadows or something. I don't know. For the next Friday or something like that, for a Friday Game On session or something. But I really got into playing Fortune Street by myself and with the AI again, and it's just like, I do love this game. A lot of people hate this game. I love this game. Next to Monopoly, playing the Monopoly games, the video game Monopoly games, I should say. I like playing the board games, mind you. I will play a Monopoly board game with anybody, but playing those the video game Monopoly is awesome. But something about me playing Fortune Street, just love it. I'm crazy, I know that, but still love it. And that is going to be my game for Friday on Game On, if you like it or not, because that's what I want to play. And if that's what I want to play, that's what I'm going to play. So why don't we get into, because I just go quickly, and we got a bunch of game news stories here. Some are shorter than others. Some are going to be longer than others, but I'm going to get through them. Well, we got some Game News Now stories, so why don't we get into the game's news? That is Games News Now, because I don't take any ad breaks or any pause breaks. You can pause on your end, but I'm not pausing the show. So let's go.
Locked and loaded, ready for the fight. Game talk news, gonna set the stage alight. Mr. Mike's got the scoop, he ain't holding back. Dropping bombs on the gaming industry track. Hear the thunder, feel the roar. Game talk news, gonna settle the score. From E3 to PAX, they got it all. The highs and lows, ready to brawl.
Okay, Games News Now. Welcome one and all to Game News Now here on the GamezAttack podcast, which originally Game News Now was basically a show all on its own that I started, and then I canceled it because I'm like, it's a lot easier to just do it in this podcast. So the main game news stories, we got Microsoft announces Xbox Game Pass November 2025 Wave 2 lineup, if you like it or not. So they got the Wave 2 of November 2025 game lineup of games coming to Xbox Game Pass. First one here, Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault, game preview for PC. November 19th, Game Pass Ultimate, and for PC Game Pass. So don't forget, these different tiers of Game Pass are different, and you get different things in these different tiers of Game Pass. Unless if you got Game Pass Ultimate, then you get it all. So just mind you, that's why I'm talking about that. So the next game, Culebra and the Souls of Limbo. So Culebra and the Souls of Limbo, do not know nothing about that game, but it's coming out for cloud, console, and PC on November 19th, now with Game Pass Premium. So it's coming out to other things. The next game, Revenge of the Savage Planet. I heard of that. I heard a lot of people like that. That's coming to cloud, PC, and Xbox Series X and S on November 19th. Also now with Game Pass Premium. Monsters Are Coming, Rock and Road for handheld and PC. That's weird that they said handheld and PC. Handheld and PC, so I'm guessing like ROG Ally and stuff like that. I guess it's handheld optimized, let's just say. This is coming November 20th for Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. For you people that actually like The Crew Motorfest is coming on November 20th, which has already been So it's, as I'm recording this on Sunday, it's the 23rd. So all these games are out now. So the Crew Motorfest, which, did anybody like the Crew? And how about Crew Motorfest? That's a Ubisoft game, of course. It's out on cloud, console, and PC for Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. So if you guys like the Crew Motorfest, which is a Ubisoft joint game, there you go. You can play some of the Crew. Banisher's Ghost of New Eden, coming to cloud, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. Out now. Well, no, this is out later. November 25th for cloud, for Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Premium, and PC Game Pass. Kill It with Fire 2, cloud, console, and PC, November 25th, Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Premium, and PC Game Pass. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I know a lot of people were interested in this one. A lot of people were like, oh shit, this is coming to Game Pass. Oh, this is probably going to be the biggest one because people really, really, really wanted to play this. So Marvel Cosmic Invasion coming to cloud, console, handheld, and PC December 1st on Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass, folks. So yes, Marvel Cosmic Universe, people can have some fun. I'm going to try it out. I'm looking. That looks interesting to me as well. I do like those little Marvel's bit games there. It looks like a good little Marvel fighting bit game there. You know, little pixel game. I'm interested. And then finally, Lost Records, Bloomin' Rage, coming to cloud, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. December 2nd on Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Premium, and Game Pass for PC. And then a few games are leaving on November 30th of this month, at the end of the month. Barbie Project Friendship, Lords of the Fallen, Octopath Traveler, and Octopath Traveler 2, and Steam World Build. And that's going to be all for cloud, console, and PC. That's leaving Xbox Game Pass, period. So those are the games lineup and games gone for Game Pass. So if you're a Game Pass Premium member or Game Pass Ultimate member, you're getting some games. Also, I didn't really talk about this until now because I didn't watch the Xbox Partner Preview event, but I read it afterwards. There's some games, not everything that I really care about. It's not really too big. It's big enough, but not too big of stuff. It's just 30 minutes of extra games that they said probably weren't going to be on the Game Awards show that's coming up, that I'm not going to watch right away. I'll watch after the fact, maybe, but I'm not too big on the Game Awards show. I never cared about what Jeff Keighley does with the Game Awards show. He just doesn't show anything really particularly interesting. I'll watch their musical act. He didn't even mention any musical act because they usually do a musical act performance, but didn't hear nothing about that this time around. If there's any big game drops, we'll find out during the Game Awards, but like I said, I'll watch that after the fact, especially because it's on Thursday night. I think it's on Thursday night, or is it Wednesday? Or is it Thursday night? I forget. Is it Thursday night? I don't know. It's one of those, I think it's a Thursday night sometime. Not on Thanksgiving, I don't think. I think it's like the next Thursday night or something. I don't know. It's coming up, but not too big into it. I watched a couple of them and I'm like, they're good. It's better to watch them on YouTube after. That's what I found out. If you watch the Game Awards after on YouTube, you can fast forward through all the boring shit. That's a lot better than watching the Game Awards live, I think. Yes. But Microsoft had a Xbox Partner Preview event that they announced some stuff here. 16 Xbox projects here, some new game announcements and updates. Although many of the titles shown will also come to other platforms such as PlayStation and Nintendo Switch 2, but they're also going to, it was a show that put the spotlight on a number of new Xbox Game Pass games as well, apparently. So let's see here. What are the games? So Godfall developer Counterplay lives here's its next game, Artemis. Let's see here. This is the best way I can read this stuff. So Artemis, Counterplay Games is back. The developer behind Godfall is here despite rumors that the studio had shut down earlier this year. And now it's got a brand new look in its next game, action-packed roguelite shooter called Artemis. We'll learn more about Artemis as it charges towards a 2026 launch for PC, Nintendo Switch 2, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. In the meantime, they got, of course, the videos on YouTube for that. The next game, The Mound, Omen, and Cthulhu. I can't even say it. Cthulhu. Omen of Cthulhu. Cthulhu. Is it Cthulhu? Omen of Cthulhu? I guess so. Launches this summer of 2026. Lovecraftian co-op survival horror game. That's what it is. Also coming to other devices as well. Dave the Diver comes to Xbox with the Jungle DLC set for 2026. So you people with the Dave the Diver stuff, they're actually showing a little Xbox ROG Ally X here. Xbox ROG Ally X, yes. He's playing it. Deep sea diving its way to Xbox Series X, S, PC, and Xbox Cloud. So there you go. Crow's Warn lifts the veil to promise Hollow Knight. Inspired Metrovania action for more platforms. So Crow's Worm, that's what it's called. Crow's Worm. Okay. Wears its influences on its sleeve. So if you're a Devil May Cry, Hollow Knight, or Bloodborne fan, you'll likely be happy to know it's now coming to Nintendo Switch, PS5, and Series X and S in addition to PC. This is a Kickstarter project with quietly continued development for the last few years. Developer Mongoose Rodeo is now showing this game. So no release date yet, just showing this game, Crow's Worm. Okay, that's what it is. Echo Generation 2, a cosmic horror nightmare coming to PC and consoles in 2026. So, come on, guys. Can't you create names that could be easily said by us? Holy shit. Cumber is revisiting the 80s Stranger Things inspired universe of Echo Generation for a sequel, but this time around things are looking a bit different. Instead of sticking with the small town atmosphere, Echo Generation 2 is flipping the switch with a story and world inspired by more the X-Files and Blade Runner than the Goonies. Coming to everything as well as Xbox Game Pass in 2026. That's all I know about this. And then the creators of Vampire Survivors revealed a Vampire Survivor sequel called Vampire Crawlers with first-person gameplay. I did watch this trailer because I was interested in it. I don't know. It's a card... Okay, let me read what it says. When Vampire Survivors took the world by storm, if it's low-key but busy gameplay, no one guessed that a spin-off could shake up the formula too much, but developer Poncol is doing it in any way. Vampire Crawlers brings first-person gameplay and roguelike deck building elements to the series for the first time. Coming to PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, 5, and Series X and S in 2026. The only thing that it has me not wanting to play this Vampire Crawlers game is that it has deck building. And I hate deck builder games. I don't care what they are, what franchise they're from. I hate building decks in games. I really do. I don't want to play deck games stuff, even though this looks pretty cool if it's like very crappy 2D animated characters, which you've seen are from the Vampire Survivors games in this. And it's all like first person weirdness. I don't like the deck building thing, but maybe it'll all change when I see people play this. And maybe if this comes, which it might come to Game Pass, maybe I'll give it a try. Who knows? But I was kind of hoping they would do like a first person, like Vampire Survivors kind of thing. Like that other game did that. What was it called? Bonkers or something like that. I forgot what that game was called, but it was another game that was a Vampire Survivor-esque like first person game, and people were going crazy for it, I guess. I don't hear nothing about it now, but I guess I heard that before by a few people that like that stuff. And of course, 007 First Light trailer highlights Bond's slick new cars because, of course, I'm sure IO Entertainment really does need some good advertisement going on about that game. They want to get people knowing that they're still working on this 007 First Light game, and they want people to eventually get in and enjoy it. So IO Interactive is continuing to drip feed players updates on its explosive star-studded video game spin-off, 007 First Light, where past appearances have focused on James Bond's charming personality and shooting skills. Today's Xbox partner preview puts the British secret agent's license to kill in the back seat with a souped-up sports car. So basically they were showing a trailer for a car, for one of his cars, and they're just like, hey guys, this game is going to be hopefully awesome. I hope you guys like this 007 First Light. I do. I do like the Hitman games that they make, so hopefully this is good, and hopefully this I hope people support this game. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it's more Hitman-like-ish, or if they actually do something really different with this 007 First Light, because they got the license to make these games, so we'll see where they do. So here we go. Roadside Research. While co-op games are like Lethal Company and Peak ask players to work together to survive life or death situations, Roadside Research simply lets players group up as a squad of goofy aliens who must simply run a gas station. Researching unsuspecting humans while pumping gas is what you have to look forward to when the project comes to PC and Xbox platforms in 2026. Roadside Research lets friends grow up as gas station aliens. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's see here. Total Chaos. Players have wondered what's taking publisher Apogee Entertainment and developer Trigger Happy Interactive to release Total Chaos. So news that it's out now across PC, PlayStation 5, and Series X and S should come to a nice surprise. A trailer accompanying the surprise game launch catches newcomers up to speed by showing off visual effects, and Sam Predel and Silent Hill composer Akira Yamaoka come together to craft their horrific video game. Total Chaos. I gotta watch the trailer for it. Don't know nothing about it, but that's what it is. Reanimal release date set for early 2026 with spine-chilling gameplay trailer. So Little Nightmares team Tarsier Studios is bringing a creepy crawly next game, Reanimal, to PC, Nintendo Switch 2, PS5, Xbox Series X, and S, with a release date of February 13, 2026. It's a schedule update. We'll see the horror game unleashed just in time for Valentine's Day, with its new trailer getting up close and personal with nightmares awaiting you and your friends. Ooh. Erosion is their next game. If you thought the studio behind The Last Case and Benedict Fox couldn't make an action-packed Western roguelite, think again. Plot twist showed up for the Xbox partner preview to unveil Erosion, a twin-stick shooter that combined roguelite elements with a story that sees players eroding its open world every death. It's coming to Xbox Series X and S, PC and cloud, and Xbox Game Pass soon. Erosion is also set to launch on Xbox Game Preview on PC in spring of 2026. That looks interesting. Hold on one second. Okay, so I was just quickly watching the trailer for Erosion, and it seems pretty interesting. Seems like an interesting little thing. It has a little bit of Vampire Survivors kind of shooter, twin-stick shooter feel with some story and stuff like that, and it's a Western. Pretty interesting. So we'll see when it comes out eventually, and maybe I'll play it because it's going to be on Game Pass, so that's going to be cool. Let's see here. We got a few more here. We got Clover Pit, official console launch trailer. If you ever wanted to play a slot machine from hell, Clover Pit's got you covered with this twisted horror game, which was released for PC in September, is back with a surprise Xbox console release today. A trailer for the port teased that DLC called Unholy Fusion is on its way as well. So, basically a slot machine from hell. Interesting. Not one of those biggest games. No, a lot of these are just these little pixelated types of games and stuff. And something very interesting here, if you're still playing the Hitman games and stuff, or Hitman World of Assassination, I should say. So Eminem versus Slim Shady brings hip-hop to Hitman. I'm sure I'm going to watch a few Nextlander people play this just to play Eminem or whatever. So Marshall Matters, a.k.a. Slim Shady, a.k.a. Eminem himself, is the next elusive target for Hitman World of Assassination. The legendary rapper's alter egos actually play a part in the next chapter for Agent 47, as Eminem has asked the cold-blooded killer to take out Slim Shady after his chaotic other half shows up in the real world. Play the new Eminem vs. Slim Shady Hitman content for yourself when it launches on all platforms on December 1st, 2025. Now, I'm not going to play this, but I'll watch people like Nextlander play this because that seems very funny. That's pretty cool. And I wonder how much they paid Eminem to be in that game. Probably not that much, because does he even do... How many... Has he... After that one last... that was like, 4 or 5 years ago when he did the last drop of music. Did he do any music currently? Or is he working on stuff now? You don't hear much about Eminem now. But he's just one of those pivotal figures in music history and rapping history in general that just blew up. He's got some good music, from back in the day. But still people put him in stuff today. Zoopunk. A lengthy look at Thai game Zoopunk arrived during the Xbox Partner Showcase. This gritty animal action game is set to release for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X, and it comes from the team behind Fist, Forged in Shadow's Torch. Its gameplay trailer provides a especially deep look at the gritty combat Games is cooking up. So what is this, a shooter with brutal animals? Okay. Don't know much more about that. Like I said, I don't know much about a lot of these because I did not watch the game preview. Tides of Annihilation steals the show with lengthy gameplay trailer. Okay. So Tides of Annihilation, Arthurium action game Tides of Annihilation took up a solid chunk of the Xbox Partner preview to highlight the massive scale of some of the fast-paced combat encounters. It's nice long look at a boss fight as Eclipse Glow Games continues to work on bringing experience to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Just looking at this this trailer here. Looks pretty good. Got this girl, she's holding up this helmet. Looking at this gameplay, it looks Final Fantasy-ish. Kind of. Looks pretty good. Fighting this big boss battle here. Doing some move sets. Tides of Annihilation. Action game. So it's purely an action game. It's not a JRPG or anything like that. So more Souls-like maybe? We'll see. We'll see how it comes out when it comes out. Let's see. What else did it say? Let's look. So I'm guessing it's not coming out yet, but doesn't show any release dates. Here's another one. Raiji Kalayuga. Raiji Kalayuga. Baba Yaga. Capping off of the Xbox partner preview is it the first trailer for Nodding Heads Games Raiji, an ancient epic sequel to Raiji Kalayaga. It's an announcement trailer dripping with atmosphere. It takes place 6 years after the original game. Never heard of it, so I don't know nothing about it. There's no release date yet, but the footage states fans to expect the release for PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5. And that's the final game. And I don't know nothing more about that. So hopefully you guys got a glimpse of what the Xbox partner previews showed. A lot of indie stuff, a lot of games from studios that you probably never heard of, or maybe some you have. I know there's some I never even heard of, so it's kind of weird on what it's showing. But yeah, okay. So that was the Xbox partner preview. That took a long time to go through, longer than I thought. And these, we're continuing the news, folks. So if you didn't know, we're in the Gamez Newz Now portion. Microsoft launches Xbox full screen experience preview for gaming PCs. That's some big news. So Microsoft has rolled out its first public preview build of Xbox's new full screen experience for gaming PCs. So that could technically be my PC here. This is the first time the feature will be available to try out on non-handheld devices, as previously as it was only available on devices with screens less than 10 inches, such as the Xbox LIX. Designed with console-style navigation in mind, the Xbox full screen experience delivers a clean, distraction-free interface for controller-first gaming. Microsoft states, pair your controller to your PC for smooth test switching and streamlined gaming experience on your desktop, laptop, or tablet. And it does work pretty well for a handheld. I wonder how it's going to work for a PC. The interface is accessible via the task view interface or by pressing the Windows key. And the F11, once the full screen experience is enabled in Windows settings, it's off by default, so you need to ensure the feature is switched on first. Yes, just like anything. So if you want it to use it, you do that. Also, if you want to try out this preview, you'll need to be registered in both the Windows Insider program and the Xbox Insider program. The feature is available as of the latest Windows 11 preview build, which is available in both the Insider Dev and Beta channels. Unfortunately, the feature is rolling out gradually, so you might not see it right away. Microsoft bringing this Xbox full screen experience is basically a big step forward towards making Windows 11 more gaming oriented, especially in the wake of Valve's newly announced Steam machine. And I wonder if that had something to do with it. And I wonder if Microsoft just said, let's pull the trigger on this Xbox and let's try to get this, even though it's not done, let's try to get this out onto, PCs and stuff so people could try it out and see and let us know how it works on PCs and stuff like that. Unfortunately for yours truly, I just got out of the Xbox and PC preview stuff because I'm like, well, I just don't have time to be going through all that. And sometimes when I get one of those preview updates and stuff, it breaks something and I just don't want it breaking anything, because that's another thing you got to worry about. Sometimes that kind of stuff changes stuff. And if you don't like that, don't do it. If you do, don't mind it, then try it out, because why not? Yeah, that's something. That's going to be something. When it officially comes out, that's going to be something in Windows 11. And I'll certainly try it out. I don't really care about it for my desktop PC because I got, first off, a dual monitor system. I do a lot more things than just play the games on it. But if it can utilize like Windows 11 and shut off, because if you're going into the Xbox preview thing, it should be able to shut off some of the background processes that Windows 11 annoyingly might do for your games, and it might help your gaming. But if you're like me and you're streaming and doing all this other stuff, it probably isn't that necessary. But if it's just a gaming PC and you don't stream or anything else that I do on it on top of gaming, then this might be for you. So we'll wait and see how people like the preview, and we'll see how that Xbox full screen experience works with everything else, because they're just doing it because Valve does it with the Steam OS thing going on and stuff, and their full screen Steam experience, full screen experience. So Microsoft's trying to do the same thing and trying to push that out as quickly as possible. Hopefully nothing breaks because of it and it works well. Like I said, it works well for my Xbox ROG Ally X. I can tell you that right now. Other people don't really care about it as much. I think it works just fine between that and my Armory Crate. But I'm one of the very few and the many that likes that stuff. Talking about the Xbox ROG Ally X and Asus in general, Asus announces big week of ROG Xbox Ally updates. And there's a ton of patch notes on here, mostly for added CPU and core options under performance settings and stuff like that. They added an option to enter or exit the full screen experience using key bindings under key map action. Added update notification feature for Command Center. Integrated AMD Radeon chill behavior to the FPS limiter function. Adjusted FPS limiter option from 45 to 40 frames per second for better align with the device's 120 Hz panel refresh rate. Changed the bottom bar button color to gray color design. Added Windows power mode options to the manual operating mode page. Improved gyro aiming algorithm to enhance precision with the gyro sensor, which I forgot that was in that Xbox ROG, the ROG Ally stuff and the Xbox ROG Ally X. I'm not going to use the gyro stuff, but okay. Bug fixes, enhanced online update process. Yes, they did. I remember seeing my updates go a lot better and faster. And hopefully it'll update a lot better and faster going forward. They got to see. That's what Microsoft and Asus and people got to do. They got to get especially for the Xbox ROG Ally X and ROG Allies and stuff like that. They got to get all the updates to work faster and more seamless and not just, you got to go check everything, AMD RSR is now set up to off by default. Added support for Wi-Fi captive portals. Changed the default sleep time from never to 5 minutes. On the ROG Ally side, the regular one added a debug interface, improved power consumption and modern standby, optimized BIOS update flow, redefined mechanism for adapter plugin detection, fixed the bug where cloud recovery may hang on reboot. That's always good. That's a lot of good stuff. Improved power consumption and modern standby, improves overall gaming performance, and fixes audio issue related to super resolution. On the ROG Xbox Ally X, improved haptics and impulse triggers, optimized BIOS update flow with redefined mechanism for adaptive plugin detection, improved cloud recovery user experience. Overall stability improvement, improved firmware stability, improves overall gaming performance, and fixes an audio issue related to audio super resolution. We just talked about that for the ROG Ally. Overall system performance improvements with the AMD chipset drivers and GPU drivers. So a lot of that stuff, a lot of stuff that they updated. Because like I said, folks, you might not think it's perfect, but Asus is, I got to say, a good partner for Microsoft and Xbox right now because they know their systems. They know how, they know these, they've been working with these things for over 3+ years now. And they're good at updating. They're good at keeping these things updated and running very well. At least what my notion is, owning the original ROG Ally Extreme and now owning the Xbox ROG Ally X. They've been doing a great job on just keeping these things updated and improving them with, fixes and stuff. And they're very good at backing up their hardware. You might be paying a little bit of money for Asus's hardware, but they're good at backing it up. And that's something you want. And you got to think about because you got the Lenovo Legion Go's and all those other people that I don't know of making these handhelds. And you got to think about who really backs up their gamers and their customers, who actually keeps their stuff updated the most. And I think Asus does an extremely well job at doing that stuff. If you like them or hate them, if you like Xbox or not, they're doing it. That's why Microsoft teamed up and partnered up with them to do this stuff. And that's all I got to say on that. Take-Two boss states gaming is moving towards PC, but GTA 6 is still down for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S at launch. And this is CEO Strauss Zelnick stating that, yes, he understands and he knows, and they know at Take-Two that, eventually all these games and GTA and all that is going to be eventually just popping up on PC first. But right now they're still pushing for just consoles because that's where they want to put their games, probably more for the security part, so they can keep the games locked down as best they can and people, for selling and sharing and stuff like that. But eventually they're going to just be doing PC-like things because they know that's where it's going. He says, let's see here. He says, playing on the big screen and owning a console, he says, is never going away. We'll see about that. We'll see how it changes over time. The future of video game consoles has become one of the hottest topics. Microsoft is expected to release a PC/console hybrid in its next-gen Xbox. Gaming rival Sony is expected to release a more traditional console, as the PS6 Nintendo, meanwhile, is sticking firmly to its long-standing hardware position, bolstered by blockbuster exclusives. Zelnick's comment comes amid Valve's announcement of the next-gen Steam machine itself, backed by a new Steam controller. We talked about that before. But still, GTA, Rockstar, they never put the GTA on PCs right away. They always focused on consoles first because that's where they originally put them out on. And that's going to continue to happen as long as they can do it. And then eventually they put the game out on PC because not only did they do that for security and their paranoid reasons of security and all that stuff, but they make more money on the consoles as of still right now. And then eventually they'll put it out on PC later because then they'll make more money on that. They got a system. They're going to keep doing it until that system is just intersected. I think PC is going to overtake consoles a lot faster going forward than the consoles sticking around because, frankly, people are going to just want to buy a PC more likely because you could do more stuff with it than a $600 to $800+ console that is just, frankly, getting more PC-like and more complicated and definitely not cheap anymore because that's what consoles were. Easy to use, cheap to use, and that's how people used to game. Just pop a disc in, pop it in and play. Now you got to download, update your games. Eventually you got to do more stuff to it. Got to change settings. That's how it is for PC. And like I said, for the Jeff Gersmans out there in the world saying, hey, people shouldn't have to learn all this stuff about changing settings and all that stuff. But here's the thing. That's where we're heading, because everybody likes something different and everybody wants to play these games in different ways or whatever, or they like certain things. Some people want more frames per second. Some people want their graphics to look better. There's just going to be that more choice. And a lot of games on consoles, even, you go through these menu systems, they're more PC-like than ever with changing every little thing from frame rates to this to that. And it's like, might as well just get a PC to do that stuff, you know? I know it's a hard thing to do, but that's where we're going. Like it or not, that's where we're going. PC-like. And for Rockstar, they're going to continue doing consoles until the business goes more to PC, which, like I said, it's going to come sooner than later. And let's see here. I don't need to talk about this last thing. I'll skip this last thing. I was gonna talk about this last news story, but it's irrelevant. So I guess we can end this podcast. It is another long podcast. I thought I was gonna do this podcast a lot quicker, but like I said, it always comes down to me talking and ranting and lots of talking, and then it ends up becoming a very long podcast. Almost 3 hours again. I don't know. Yeah, so this week, Wednesday, I should have a nice Let's Play of Supermarket Simulator. That's a planned Let's Play for this Wednesday. And Friday, I plan on playing some Fortune Street. If you like it or not, I know I'm going to like it. I just want to play that and enjoy my Friday night playing some Fortnite. Or not Fortnite, sorry, it's Fortune Street from my emulator. And we can enjoy some Nintendo shenanigans and stuff like that. And then, yeah, that's going to be this upcoming week's stuff scheduled. And, of course, I will have hopefully dropped. I said by Thanksgiving, but you never know about me. I will hopefully have dropped my Xbox ROG Ally X final review, article, video, stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, if I don't get it out by Thanksgiving, it's going to be out by the weekend. It has to be. I can't go any farther. I'm on the very end of the article now. I got to take some time to do it. And I'm trying to relax a little bit this weekend because I did so much stuff yesterday, so we'll see. But that's what the plan is looking, folks. So everybody, join me, OldFreakyGamer.com. That's my website. I do actually have a real website at OldFreakyGamer.com where I have the podcast is at, videos, soon to be some articles, stuff like that. YouTube.com / OldFreakyGamer-2023 is my YouTube channel. Subscribe and enjoy. I also stream on twitch.tv / OldFreakyGamer. I might as well put that out there. What else? Oh, I also still have the Mr. Mike's tip jar. If anybody feels like they want to tip me a little something, I have that on oldfreakygamer.com, or you could go to the link on the top of my YouTube channel page in the links section. You can go click on that, and if you feel like you want to tip me a little something, a few dollars here or there, hey, I accept tips. So, it's time to end this podcast, folks. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, folks, I'm Mr. Mike signing out saying game on, game hard, world conquest. I'm pushing this gaming button, and this show is now finally game over. Until next time, folks, Mr. Mike signing out.
Pixels flicker, neon bright, old freaky gamer plays all night. Joystick in one hand, fries in the other. He's the king of one more level, brother. Press start, he's in the zone. His throne's a squeaky chair alone. Old freaky gamer, he's got the knack. Blast into the game's attack. Level up and don't look back. Old freaky gamer.
game over.